What is up, everybody? It's your boy Vague Vigilante. It's been a long time. I know y'all been waiting for my return. I hope, yeah, right?
Yes! Yes! Yes!
But we've already finished Elden Ring on live stream, and we've already beat all of the other mainline Souls entries. And finally, it is here. We're gonna see how viable is faith in Elden Ring. I do have a couple things to mention. For info on the incantations, I went between Elden Ring Wiki and Fextralife, and I swear they were like always wrong. So this may not also be the most accurate thing, at least some of the statistics on the incantations. Second, I'm not really a pro at all, so don't hold my opinion to a high standard. I just decided to play with what I had fun with, and to stick to mostly using faith weapons and anything that relied more on the faith stat. Because overall, I just made this video hoping that you guys eventually just have a good time watching it. And I'm releasing this video on day of release of Elden Ring Night Rain, so I'm going to be streaming it later tonight at 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you ever just want to come over and vibe, I'd really appreciate that. Alright, but no more yapping, let's just get right into Elden Ring. You already know the drill. I try my damnedest to make it look like Johnny Sins. And we start the game with the Prophet class.
The fallen leaves tell a story. Elden Ring was shattered. Now, Queen Marika the Eternal is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden was first to perish. Soon, Marika's offspring, demigods all, claimed the shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound strength triggered the shattering. A war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment. And one other whom grace would again bless. The tarnished of no renown. Cross the foam to the lands between. To stand before the Elden Ring. And become the Elden Lord.
Boys, we're finally here. Spear is the weapon they start us off with, and since I'm here, I might as well get a little warm up with its moveset. Not only that, but we also start the game with Catch Flame as our first incantation, and heal. Catch Flame is just a great, cheap, and close range incantation. It does great damage and it's really quick too. Honestly, everyone be glazing this thing, and I think that's for a really good reason. And we also have heal, which ain't too bad, but we don't have that much health or armor to really take advantage of it, and it's 35 FP. That's like 3.5 Catch Flames. I can't really justify that investment. And not only that, it is kind of slow, so we're not going to be using it in battle. It's not really worth it, but we will be using it a little bit later on. And Catch Flame is actually doing pretty good damage against the first boss, and we gotta die. Well, you don't have to die to it, I'm just kind of bad.
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on his side. We found him here, after all. One of his kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring. Even if it does violate the Golden Order.
And I head on down to the tutorial area because I could not leave for Limgrave knowing that this dude was still out there, waiting, watching me. With him gone, we can go and safely explore the rest of the game.
Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless.
You're gonna regret that, you know that, right? Run up on the tree sentinel because nowadays I have to kill this dude the first time I see him. We light his ass up and immediately fumble. This attack right here is a pretty good one to punish so we can use our spear and save our FP. Catch Flame is definitely not going to be enough to deplete the man's whole health bar. I know I'm greedy asking for that, but please. This is Elden Ring. I really got to get used to these delayed attacks. But overall, not too bad. We did take about 4 attempts to take down the tree sentinel. It's mostly for the souls because we can't even use the weapon that he gives us. And the ego. The lion does not walk away from the first tree sentinel fight. And time for us to get our main man, Torrent.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina. I offer you an accord.
Pump a little bit into health and a little bit into faith. Right now we're just going to be taking out some bosses around Limgrave. Beastman also drops the Fire Drake Talisman, helping us with fire damage reduction. Absolutely break this imp's ankles.
Oh my god! Oh!
And get a facial right up in our face. Damn. Oh, damn. Go ahead and take down the watchdog in this catacomb. And look at this damage on the demi-human chief. They're in water. I'm pretty sure this is reduced damage. I didn't give him a chance to do anything. This dude was just straight up tweaking as he died. Behind that boss is the Dragon Communion, which we can use to trade Dragon Hearts for Dragon Communion incantations. We go ahead and collect some items, like right here we get the we get the whetstone knife, and we collect some golden seeds. Johnny knows a bit about seeds, you know what I'm saying? And around here, I jumped off the cliff. I don't know why. Yeah, wait, why did I die here? But enough about that. It's time for us to go after Margit.
Foul tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring. Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Alright, 100%, you punish this attack. You punish that good. Bad boy. Gotta say, Catch Flame got us pretty quickly into phase 2, and I 100% could not handle that shit. After that death, we can talk to Melina to bring us to the Round Table Hold.
I can take you to the Round Table Hold, gathering place of tarnished champions, guided by grace.
At the round table, we find this other prophet, which we can talk to get other incantations that we don't need right now. And we can also buy the longsword. And I'm just going to say, because I rock with the longsword. Longsword gang, rise up. Everyone else can run some fancy it do not matter. Tried to kill this dude at the round table hold, but my damage is garbage. His aura killed me. Oh, so this is what'll happen when I ask those girls to step on me. We go on down a cave so we can get some smithing stones. I just turned him to a bomb, I'm sorry. So that now we can upgrade our finger seal all the way up to +3. We go on to like Northern Limgrave so we can get the green turtle talisman. Again, in this game, the incantations cost stamina, so recovering it is going to be really good in just every aspect no matter what. While we're up here, I decided we might as well take on the Tibia Marina because killing them will also grant us a death root, which we're going to be using later on to get more incantations. Succumb to the Goth Tree Sentinel baddie. Also important that we get the Wondrous Physic and the Sacred Tear. Also the green spill for even more stamina generation. We are not gonna get exhausted, bro. Darrowin, I know Blythe wants you dead, bro. Stop running. It's inevitable. Go ahead and take this facial real quick. I went back to fight a Geel, and the worst part is I didn't use my seal at all, so we're using this flimsy sword. It's just +0. Oh nah, this damage is rancid. But we do end up taking this man down with a headshot. I know this dude clips me like twice, but I swear I'm ready for him again. But I absolutely do hate this combo right here. He can occasionally just leave when I'm doing the catch flame, costing me some FP. And this is like the first time in forever I've been hit with this attack. But we go and take out Margit in 3 attempts, and not only that, we get a talisman pouch, so we can also carry 2 at a time now. After that, I decided to head to the Lower Peninsula and talk to this lady about her father.
I fear for father's life. Please, I implore you, would you mind taking a letter to my father at the castle? My sole wish is that he escape, even if his honor should be the price. Please, I just want him to be safe.
And we also go and collect the Morning Star. We're not going to be using it right now because it doesn't have any phase scaling, but we're eventually going to pair it up with an incantation to make its bleed effect even more potent. Get some level 2 smithing stones. Over here there's like a mage tower, and in order to get in we have to kill like 3 imaginary turtles around this area so that it can unlock and allow us to climb up and collect a memory stone. Slots aren't really tied to your FP anymore, so we can just go around and find them without having to dump everything into mind. We continue down south and take out this golem in front of this castle, and we also collect poison mist. That stank. You just create a cloud of poison in front of yourselves and hope the enemy just stands there long enough to take it.
Oh damn.
Anything agile is just gonna get out of the mist, and not only that, poison isn't even really the best status effect anyway. It's just incredibly slow even if you do proc it. I end up using it just to say that I do, but it's not really that good. Get the sword up to +3 and fight this knight cavalry over here. I tried going horse to horse. This did not work out for me. I'm just gonna say I saw an opportunity to hit him straight in the nuts. I won't fall to a goth anymore. Not again! We go and get another goated incantation, the Flame of Frenzy. Fires a couple of fire projectiles, I'd say medium range, but if you charge it, it's gonna fire even more and do even more stance damage. With 1 hit, you can stance break a lot of things, and if not, you could do it with 2. You do have to stand still for this spell, and you get a good amount of madness buildup on yourself when using it, so you are punished by just spamming it all the time. But use it correctly in the early game is going to be easy. We go and get the Faith Knot tier for our Physic. It's at least a source of extra damage for any incantations, not that much, but it'll help. It's like bro put prayer in a bottle. For even more stuff for our Physic, we go on and take the Erd Tree Avatar, hit him up with a little bit of stank right off the beginning. I wasn't thinking straight, so he decided to bonk me. And right here's a good example of being up close with a charged Flame of Frenzy. Look at how much damage that thing just did. Twice, I was able to get 2 charged. Oh my god, I'm him. I'm him.
Look at you. Thinking you have all the power in the world.
We finish it off with a bit of catch flame, which even then, look at that damn, oh my god, it's because he's wood. This dude's weak to fire. But we also get the opaline bubble tier, which will heavily reduce the next hit we take. And for us being so squishy, that's pretty helpful if we make a mistake. Go to the Everjail and take out Zamor. He's just standing there. Guess my guy was on his break, but we ended up killing him. And we get Radagon's Scar Seal, giving us extra points in other areas, which also allows us to use other types of weapons with it too. I'm Mexican, so I know about putting plants in, so I also know about taking plants out. Get even more smithing stones and talk to this NPC right over here.
I don't believe we've met. I'm known as D. I hunt down those who live in death and weed their death root. If you're inclined to hunt more of those who live in death and weed their death root, then I'll introduce you to Garunk, the beast clergyman.
And my homie Dialos.
Ah, hello. You must be new here. Well, just call me Dialos. The honor of one's house holds little import in these lands. By the way, have you met a young woman named Lanya on your travels? She's my servant, but fickle as the wind. Take your eyes off her for but a moment and she's good as gone. If you find her, please be sure to tell me.
I go back to this dude, I'm legit hitting air. Oh, damn. Typical spammers nowadays, huh? Bro, I can do that too. Don't think you're special or something. And we also go and collect the Cypher Pata from the round table. Right now, it takes 30 faith to use this thing. So I'm definitely not going to be using it right now. Even if with the faith not here, I just don't feel like it. And also I hear a lot of things in this game are just very resistant to holy. And it weighs 0, so I do decide I might as well bring it with me. We get another memory stone to be big brained. Go and collect more smithing stones. With that damage I just did, your health bar might as well just be mine. We also go and collect the Ash of War Sacred Blade. Honestly, this is a great Ash of War. Launches a holy projectile. And you get a buff on your weapon. It's not the best, but it's a little cherry on top. Just for now, another great ranged projectile. Hey bro, y'all making a mess. Get the f on out of here. They're having fun. Let's pull a little prank on this guy. Looking back at this, I don't know why I didn't use Sacred Blade. This was literally a perfect opportunity for it. We go up here and show Irina's father the letter that she had us give to him.
I see. From Irina. Thank you. I'm in your debt, but I can't leave yet. Even if the castle should fall, as commander, I must remain to ensure the treasured sword of Morn does not fall into the wrong hands.
So because that dude can't clutch this 1v1, we gotta go in and finish the job for him. Okay, I can see why this was a problem, but nah, Catch Flame does immense damage right now. And we eventually take out the Misbegotten, even though we can't use the legendary weapon he drops for us. But we can go back and show him the weapon so we can finally understand it's time for the retirement home for this guy.
I'm in your debt for keeping the sword from those fallen creatures. I'm no longer bound by duty. Once I've rescued Irina, I will spend my remaining days with her.
Bro, this must have been how Frank Castle felt when this happened to his family.
I fought life with me. I chose duty over my daughter's safety. And that is how fate has answered.
I'll find them. The foul wretches responsible for this. I'll hunt them down and exterminate every last one of them. Rest assured, Irina, it will be done.
We go and get the Dectus medallion. Yeah, we already forgot that other dude. Time to storm through Godric's castle, and we go through the main gate because the lion does not take shortcuts. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how I just didn't get hit in this section at all. We head down to the cellar area with a door blocked needing a stoneward key, allowing us to open a chest containing the Godslayer's seal and the Godslayer prayer book for more incantations later. Right now, the next best seal we have is the it's the Godslayer's seal. We need to level it up, but once we do that, it'll actually do more damage than the finger seal, and it'll give a 10% boost to Godslayer incantations. There's only a few though. We can't even wield the thing right now because we need 27 faith, but we'll get back to that later. Now it's time to face the grafted. You think he grafted any other appendages down there to himself?
mighty dragon. Thou the true-born heir. Lend me thy strength, O kindred. Deliver me unto greater heights. Well. The lowly tarnished. Plain as a lord. I command thee, kneel! I am the lord of all that is golden.
We start the fight with Poison Mist. He rolls away after having him fly like an eagle. We do land the second Poison Mist, but again, that's like 36 FP gone. I'm lucky this attack barely missed me, but the Flame of Frenzy does some pretty good damage to him. And honestly, we mostly use this incantation till we get him into phase 2.
Truest of dragons. Lend me thy strength.
This first attack literally lets us get away with a charged Flame of Frenzy. Again, did he not learn? He tries all this fancy shit, but honestly, it does not matter in the face of Catch Flame. We do eventually get the stagger and riposte with the longsword, and finish off our first Remembrance boss once and for all.
I am the lord of all that is golden, and one day we'll return together to our home, bathed in rays of gold. What a pathetic excuse for a lord you were.
Alright, it's time to clean up the previous areas, and we're going to start with Limgrave. Deathrite birds weak to holy damage, so I can showcase the Sacred Blade.
I know. Can you take this little one along with you?
Acquire this jellyfish for later. I bought a buckler just so I could face this Crucible Knight and make it a little bit easier on myself. I must not be entering the G spot because my sword is not doing that much damage. Like, imagine shrugging this off. And the Flame of Frenzy ain't good because as I stand still, he can close the distance real quick. And I was so close to my first attempt. Eventually I realized it was just more effective to catch flame him after the parry instead of riposting him, and after killing him we actually get his incantation, Aspects of the Crucible Tail. This time it's personal. That's a long name. It's like the one he showed in the fight. We just spawn a long tail and swipe, and as long as you charge it, you actually swipe twice. It's not too bad with damage. It can handle a little bit of a crowd, and not only that, it does a lot of stance damage as long as you charge it. I say the downside is it is a little bit slow, but overall pretty good. Again, we can't use it because it requires, I think, 27 faith, so we'll get back to that. We're also back in Lower Peninsula, so we can pick up Lightning Strike. It rains down what I think is like 3 lightning bolts, and if you hit all of them, it's definitely going to do a good amount of damage. But as I played the game, it's not very reliable to hit. I might just be bad at aiming it. Maybe someone else that understands this incantation a bit more can get better use out of it, but I think when I log on and try to use it, it's just difficult. Bro, how did I beat Godric, but not you? There's also another Crucible Knight in Stormvale, so we gotta go fall through like a bunch of floors. Enemies won't react to being poisoned by poison mist, so I decided to start the fight with that. He didn't know what was coming, and as he was just standing there, we were able to get a lot of damage with the Flame of Frenzy. I didn't actually expect him to go into the hole after he does that charging attack. But now we got aspects of the Crucible Horn Edition. Yep, we getting horny. Jesus Christ, someone's gotta fire me someday. It's equivalent of that one ability from the Thing in Marvel Rivals. You do a quick dash towards the enemy, and if they're light enough, you'll launch them into the air, and it allows you to close the distance while getting a good amount of damage in the process. But it's only when it's really charged. If you uncharge it, it's just a little stump. You barely move. Might as well be confined to like a wheelchair. It's just the aspect that I light this dude's nuts on fire. Every dude felt that in a radius. We also go after the ulcerated tree spirit underneath the castle, and he's so huge we can get a lot of damage with the Flame of Frenzy on him. I absolutely love this spell. Oh no. I did barely survive like twice, but we do complete it first try. And I decided I might as well talk to Blythe right now. I'm just gonna say, if a woman said I would understand.
The name's Blythe. I'm looking for a man who goes by Darrowell. He fled somewhere nearby. Or so I've heard.
We already completed that, so we came back to no fight, no excitement.
Right. There you are. Had to work for it, but it's done.
We're cave divers, but luckily this hole was big enough for us to enter through. We have to go and light about 8 of these fires around the map. Bro, I know you want me, just chill! So that we could touch some roadkill. So we can take on the ancestral spirit. Imagine a deer doing this up in like a highway. I don't mean to be rude, but Catch Flame is a little too short for this enemy. So we switch up to using the Sacred Blade Longsword and occasionally a Flame of Frenzy off. And we do eventually take them down, and it took us about 3 attempts in total. And now I have enough faith to use the Crucible incantations, and we can use the Godslayer seal, which already just has better incant scaling than the finger. And I farmed these giants for a bit, so that I could now buy Black Flame. It's a fireball range projectile, but a unique aspect of Black Flame is after it hits the target, it'll sap 2.5% away of their HP. Regardless, sometimes they can even take no fire damage, but still take that Black Flame percentage damage. I'm gonna say this is one of the best incantations you can get. Does a lot of damage, does range, and even saps a little bit more at the end. And with the Godslayer seal already doing more incant scaling and giving a 10% bonus to this incantation, it's gonna shred. Okay, let's test out Black Flame and see how much damage it does. Okay, 0% ain't too bad, but it actually does decent damage, and again, we're in water, more damage reduction. So we're still hitting high numbers, even with this reduction in damage. Imagine without the water. But nah, for real, Black Flame was more than enough for the job. We also go and collect Marika's Scar Seal, and I definitely don't use it. And this is to show how inaccurate Lightning Strike is. Deals alright damage, but a target that's right in front of me is just so difficult to hit for some reason. With this bubble around me, I look like a baseball being thrown to score a home run. And we go and activate Godric's Grate. It's time to take on Liurnia.
Hello? Is someone there? My name is Hayata, and I'm journeying in search of the distant light.
We can't make anything with Godric's remembrance, so we just leave that alone. Give some currency to Tomps to like feed his family. I don't know what he's gonna use runes for. We go to this one ever jail and I bully the living out of this NPC with Crucible Horn.
Leave me alone!
After taking them out, we get the incantation Flame of the Fell God. You shoot out a giant fireball into the air and it'll detonate when it's near an enemy or it's reached its maximum range. And for some humanoid enemies, it'll actually knock them down. It requires 41 faith, so we're not really going to be seeing that until more of the late game. And we got some fire monks protecting their camp, but more specifically, their fire monk prayer book. We head through this poisonous area, which I guess Torrent doesn't get poisoned by, and head up another mage tower so we can get another memory slot. If we didn't have the Opaline bubble tier, we would have been smashed like a pancake. But after killing this avatar, we don't really get anything useful for our physic yet. We get O Flame and Surge O Flame, but we're not going to be getting those right now. However, we will get Black Flame Blade. It's a weapon buff incantation that applies as fast as a drawstring grease. It gives a bit of extra fire damage, not as much as other incantations, but it adds the black flame effect on the weapon. After you hit a target, it saps 2% of their health. It doesn't stack if you use a fast weapon, it just simply resets the timer. But I have faith that this thing will actually do a good amount of damage if you use it at the right time. So right now this is what our setup looks like, and honestly it has a lot of fire going on. And from a scarab nearby, we get Blood Flame Blade. This gives your weapon even less fire damage than Black Flame Blade, but it gives it the ability to bleed. From what I read, it does 40 bleed over 2 seconds per hit, which stacks. If you use it on a regular weapon, it's still going to take a while for them to bleed, so you're going to want to use it on weapons that already have natural bleed and can also be buffed. This dragon stood there for like most of the poison duration and it just didn't happen. I just ate all that cotton candy breath. After getting the stagger with the Flame of Frenzy, I decided to apply the Black Flame Blade on my weapon to chip through the HP instead of getting the riposte. This damage is appalling. And I mostly just stick to launching some Black Flame at him again, just sapping his HP away, and eventually we get him, and we also have the key to enter Rhea Lucaria, and we also get another Dragon Heart to add to the collection. I don't know what it's like to use a bidet. Until right now. This Crystallion down here has the belt bearing that'll allow us to buy level 1 and 2 smithing stones, so they're a good one to take down. And I plan on using those smithing stones to upgrade the Morning Star, since we can put Blood Flame on it and get 90 bleed out of each hit. I give it Wild Strikes and get it up to +6, while I also get the seal up to +8, and get enough strength to even wield it. Bro, I have the honor of finding one of the best NPCs in the game? No way.
I am the warrior Jar known as Alexander. Iron Fist Alexander. I journey to the east, where I intend to further my education in the ways of good. And beyond these lands lie the scarlet, rot-blighted Caelid wilds. And upon their southern edge is Redmane Castle, in which a festival of combat is being held.
We go ahead and kill another cow. Where the f did you go? True essence of the Black Flame backshots. The bleed on this thing goes crazy, so as long as we keep on wild striking them, after we kill this knight. Stupid, I'm not gonna let you get the chant. I didn't know your Thunderbolt had delay as well. But after killing this dude, we get the Dragon Cult prayer book. We have 3 new incantations, one of them being Honed Bolt. It's pretty much like a lightning strike from above. I would say its main advantage is it can be cast repeatedly after the first time, as long as you still have stamina or FP to use. It can do a lot of damage per second, but you're trading that off for FP. Next up is Lightning Spear, which I'm already used to due to the Soul series. It's a heavier hitting lightning projectile that can also be charged up to deal even more damage. If you're willing to plant yourself down for a second and get a nice good hit, this is what you're looking for lightning. And lastly, we have Electrify Armament, just the way of putting electricity on your weapon and going more melee instead of using incantations. The one thing I do like about it is that it says it lasts 90 seconds instead of just a minute. I'm so happy for that. And these armaments, they only scale off of the incant scaling and not off of like faith or anything, or even boost. So if you have like the gravel seal, this is not going to add another 10% because it can't really. And in this camp over here, we also have Flame Cleanse Me. Just gets rid of poison or scarlet rot. Really convenient, especially later on in the game when they become a bit more relevant. We head on again underneath the map. Oh god, I legit hate insects, bro. At least ants. He really tried to give me the snuck treatment. Is this? Is this the gamer girl bathwater? And there's an ant here with a dummy thick ass. I don't mean it disrespectfully, I'm just observing. But with all of them in this one small area, I was salivating to use the frenzy spell. And there's this dude raining down rocks on me. Do you see the destruction you're doing, bro? Like, I don't even have insurance. Killing them isn't that hard when we have ranged projectiles. Just throw it at him. Yo, wait, I missed! Get our seal up, and just look at that. It's got an A scaling in Faith. He instantly ate my bubble. I will say he's got good blade resistance. Maybe I shouldn't have went with the Blood Flame blade, but he's got something new to show us in Phase 2. Electric Lightning. Ice Lightning. No, we've seen Electric, and I'll just be for real, this is like one of the coolest attacks I've ever seen. His attacks were even lagging my system, but I don't care. I would 100% trade my frames for this fight. I ended up dying because I forgot to see that I was about to go loco. But he still has some attacks that make him vulnerable, especially this, I don't know what to call that. And this attack where he just throws the lightning down, just run away to the side. I missed with my first hone bolt, but we eventually get the second one and then get the incantation he was using. Frozen Lightning Spear. It's like Lightning Strike, but better. It strikes the ground multiple times, so it's best used on larger opponents. But I'd say it has a pretty good AoE, so even people that are smaller, it'll probably hit them once. And not only that, it gives 120 frost buildup. That's a lot. Really good on big enemies, and you can activate Frostbite on some of them, allowing you to deal even more damage after using this. It looks like I got executed and lived. Killing this Erdtree avatar gives us 3 tiers, and I'm mostly interested in 2 of them. I'm just gonna put this up front, but these are the damage shrouding cracked tiers. Each of these will boost its corresponding element by 20% for 3 minutes when you use your physic. Right now we mostly have fire incantations, but we just got holy and lightning, so this will help the damage output of those elements much more. I don't know if this is the actual way you're supposed to go up. Okay, I know it's not the way you're supposed to go up, but I jump with Torrent to get up here. See, bro, I got all the eyeballs looking at me, even if it hurts me. And up here, we take down a Scarab that has Frenzied Burst. All I can say, it's the fire equivalent of handling a Barrett 50 cow. It's a long-range fire frenzy spell that can hit targets very far away and deal even more damage when charged. And the projectile speed is quick, and it can penetrate through multiple enemies, just like Johnny. And it doesn't even really build up that much madness, not as much as Flame of Frenzy, so you can spam this much more freely. I tried to take on Vike at the top of the hill, but he hit me up with those conspiracy theories, and I eventually went to take him out with Hone Bolt since he doesn't really dodge them. We also go up the tower with that Frenzy Eyeball to get the Howl of Shabriri. Initially what I thought all it did was just shriek and spread madness around you. But what it actually is a body buff. It seems like you deal 25% more damage using everything, but take 30% more. I'm a little bitch, so I'm scared of reducing my own damage negation, but honestly I should have just used this more often when I know I was going into a fight using projectiles. Or just gotten good. I could have done that. I could have just done that. I know I'm glazing it, but just look at this burst. Right here I take the chance to buy Electrify Armament, and I go after the Deathrite Bird with the Holy Cracked tier.
When I'm dead, just throw me in the trash.
It helped me deal more damage, but the only source I have for Holy is Sacred Blade right now. We also head to this Albinoric village and talk to this guy for another piece of a medallion.
I beg you. Would you look after this medallion? You must keep it out of the cursemonger's hands.
And just to show how much good crowd control some of these incantations really do have. Take out another Tibia Mariner so we can get some more Death Root. I forgot about this dude that spawns at the round table after something, but Sacred Blade was definitely good enough. And I decided to actually give my Death Root to Garok down in Kaled. We get the Claw Mark seal, which scales off of both Faith and strength, and gives a 10% bonus to bestial incantations. I'm not really going strength, so it's not the best seal for me, but I will have it on my offhand to give it that 10% boost. And we also have bestial sling. It costs a little amount of FP, but also doesn't even really do that much damage. I would say in some of the PvP videos I see, again it's not fully accurate, but I feel like it's mostly to flinch enemies. I don't know, but I don't really use this incantation through the playthrough. And I'm going to tell you right now, I was very stubborn as hell. I wanted to kill this dragon over here at Caelid. Because we're very underleveled, that HP percentage sap is really good from Black Flame. And I guess I forgot how dragons fight because I just run away in like a straight line. What I thought was that the rain was reducing my Black Flame damage and should increase electricity damage, so for a while I tried to use lightning, but it really doesn't do that much damage. I switched to BFB because as long as we keep on hitting them, I think we get a lot of value out of this incantation. And for the times I can't be close range, I just chuck a bunch of fireballs at them. I was deadass just such a doofus because I thought there was something down here that could break my fall.
Let's go.
But yeah, I think when you have a good chance to hit them with all the attacks, the Black Flame Blade is very FP efficient. At a certain point, the dragon teleports back to the bridge, forgetting about our encounter, with still the same amount of HP left. And I'm not gonna lie, I believe I died here because of my horse. I put my controller down for a second, but we were able to come back to the fight, and I'm telling you, this one moment solidified this incantation being viable to me. We got 80,000 runes from this dude, allowing us to level up a couple times. It took us 8 attempts. I was just so stubborn for this kill, but we got it. And yeah, I got 5 levels out of this encounter. We go and talk to Iji.
I am Iji, a blacksmith who once served the Karian royals. An old codger who refuses to retire his rusty hammer. So here I am, still quietly plying my trade on this spot.
I never knew this was a hidden wall. I've always just used Torrent to jump around. We upgrade the Cypher Pata a bit before heading on to Caria Manor. It really wasn't a struggle getting through, I just ran by everyone. I don't have time for y'all. She's in water, so this electricity is gonna eat her alive. And I use Hone Bolt to mostly catch her since she's pretty fast. But with one last charge Lightning Spear, she goes down. Before we can get to Ronnie, there's this dragon in the way, but if you get them down to at least below 50%, they'll be like, you know what, this is not even my business anymore.
No reason in particular thou claimest. Intriguing. Then mayhaps fate hath steered thee to this reunion. Wilt thou enter into my service? I am the witch Rani. I stole death long ago, and search now for the dark path, that I might one day upend the whole of it, and rid the world of all that came before. I'm just picking up some stuff that I left behind again. We get the Haligtree Talisman for Holy Resistance. Go back and unlock this area and get Erdtree's Favor for some extra HP, stamina, and equip load. Obliterated Despair for a Magic Resistance Talisman. We also went and got Divine Fortification. There's fortification spells that'll give you damage negation to a certain element by 35%. This one is out in the wild, but you can buy some of them from the other Prophet vendor. We go to the Church of Val and talk to this giant turtle. Oh, you're adorable.
You're tarnished, aren't you? I welcome you to the Church of Vows.
And right here, he actually sells Blessing's Boon, a regen spell, and in Elden Ring, regen buffs are its own separate category, so you can have a body buff or an aura buff along having this. Right now, it's going to heal at maximum 720 HP, so it'll cover a good amount of our health bar for now. IRS called, bro. You owe money. Get back here. At the top, this dude disappears as soon as you get close to him, so you need a ranged projectile. Burst was perfect for this. We get the Two Fingers Heirloom, and it increases faith by 5. That's all it does. What, did you want a college thesis or what? We also got the Cerulean Amber Medallion that increases FP, but just by a little bit. And we show it to this lady outside.
Oh. Do you speak true? So old Albus entrusted his medallion to you. Then I have no choice but to trust that this was his dying will. Let's try again. I'm Latenna, an Albinori, the same as old Albus.
My apologies for my coarse words earlier. I presume the worst. Seeing that you're another tarnished like that all-hearing brute, I hope that you will forgive me.
From this dude, I decided to buy Cure, Poison, and the other fortification spells. Back where we got Erdtree's favor, we get the Dragon Communion Seal, which can increase dragon incantations by 15%. We speak again with the homie Dialos.
Hello, friend. Tell me if you know, would you? The whereabouts of the hidden house of those despicable fiends. The recusants who hunt their fellow tarnished. They laid hands upon my servant Lanya, and I refused to let the insult stand. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood. I, Dialos, swear to deliver the message.
And the furry.
Ah, good to see you. Apologies made, but I don't have much to report.
Hey yo, heads or tails?
50-50.
Before going against the Red Wolf, we do have the Magic Fortification spell. Dude, I legit ate that shot like breakfast. I despise the Red Wolf just because of how fast he is. I don't like these enemies. But we did good damage and had hyper armor when using the Tail Crucible incantation. And you already know we gotta finish it with Black Flame Blade. And he also drops another memory slot for us. You know, good boy, you know what, you were worth something. And we also get Radagon's Icon, which I don't like how they describe it like this, but gives you virtually 30 dex in terms of casting speed. On the right side is where I used Radagon's Icon, and it does make it faster, but just a little bit. I really had to slow down the footage because of how unnoticeable it really was. I really dislike how they tied casting speed to dex. I should call him. Okay, so this NPC is notorious for parrying people and killing them very quickly, but we were able to get madness off on him. And with some incantations, he just doesn't dodge them. What are you gonna do? You gonna parry this, you little piece of shit? 1v1 ain't too crazy. Oh, come on, man. It's time to go against the Queen.
Little Calva. I'll soon birth thee anew, a sweeting, fresh and pure.
I have the HUD off just so I could use for the intro later, but her first phase isn't really that hard. Just hit those students and then wail on her until she gets to phase 2.
My beloved, have no fear. I will hold thee. Patience. Ye will be countless born forever and ever. Upon my name as Rani the Witch. Mother's rich slumber shall not be disturbed by thee. Foul trespasser. Send word far and wide. Of the last queen of Caria, Renala of the full moon. And the majesty of the night she conjureth.
This was a bad time to cast magic fortification. Never mind. Okay, I was not familiar with your game. She killed me. But she decided to bring the whole ocean with her, so our electricity is going to do more damage. Why do a lot of bosses just have this? Just water. Yo.
The moon!
The first caveman's meals. Rocks. And I see you can actually just knock her down, splash a little bit of water on her face. Getting hit with this Nemi beam, you'll just be stuck in there and get hit by the other projectiles. But if you stick close, you can hit her with a lot of melee attacks. Hey, yo, wait, get back here. And you use spirit summons? You cheater. Yo, why can't I do something like this?
The moon!
But I would say the fortification allowed me to tank a bunch of her spells and keep on going. And we were able to take out another Remembrance boss in 4 attempts with Honed Bolt. And now they gotta take us to the worst place of them all.
Take him to Detroit.
No! No, not Detroit! No! No, please! Anything but that!
After that fight, we acquire another talisman pouch, and we go to fight Patches so we can get him as a vendor, because I wanted to get his cookbook that allowed us to make gold pickled fowl feet. Eating this after most big bosses gives you a huge boost in runes. It can let you get a couple more levels that you didn't necessarily earn, so I can see people not liking that I use it, but it's just so good. I promise you, it's just business. We also get Margit's Shackle. I wonder if this will work on Radon. There's this cave in Liurnia that goes vertically upwards that has a lot of smithing stones 3 and 4s. And with Diallos back at the round table, we talk to him again. You know, how you feeling, buddy?
Ah, you again, is it? The recusants sent a lackey. Can you believe they invited me to join them? Now, after what they did? I can scarcely believe it myself. Did they think me a fool? You might be surprised to learn I took them up on the offer. Then I only had to ask. The location of the recusant hideout.
Flying enemies. These dudes need to get banned. And with another big target, we can try against the magma worm. And you also deal damage with a direct hit. So we frostbite him and deal a huge chunk of damage. Be gone! So honestly, I just spammed this incantation and he went down. I don't have a better explanation than that. After beating him, there's an elevator that takes you all the way up to the Altus Plateau, and I legit felt like I had the world on my back at this point. So I fought them with the frozen lightning spear, and at a certain percentage of HP they go away. Yeah, that's right, get the f on out. But I'm here so I can also get 2 golden seeds and the bell bearing for level 3 and 4 smithing stones. Most dangerous serial killer alive.
Have you ever felt the curse? With your whole being, the pox upon life itself, feared and despised by all. The reviled blessing.
We head on back to Caelid, and look, even the frozen lightning spear is good against smaller targets. And after killing this invader, they drop the sacred scorpion charm. There's 4 of these charms, each for a different element, and what they do is increase an element's damage by 12%, but also increase the amount of physical damage you take by 10%. Honestly, I'd say it's a good enough boost while not putting you too much in harm's way, so I will occasionally use these. There's another Erdtree avatar, and I forgot after this jump, he just spits out that rotten juice. Okay, I gotta get that out of the script. Killing them gives us the fire tier for our physic to increase its damage, and we have a ton of fire incantations, so it's gonna pair with that nicely. And even Black Flame, that gets the boost from the Godslayer seal, and this, whew. I am cutting down trees today. This next avatar has a tier that's going to be really useful. The Opaline Hard tier, which just flat out gives you 15% damage negation on everything. Usually like to pack this with an offensive tier of a certain element, along with pairing it with other defensive incantations. We're just going to be like a wall. There's a Scarab that gives us Whirl of Flame. I never use it. I didn't want to take out this dragon before because I felt like it was cheating to get all these runes, but we're already in Caelid, so we use Bleed to eventually kill him. This has got to be a trash way to go. And these bell-bearing hunters, I hate their goddamn force attack just launching the sword wherever they wanted to go. Also during this time, I decided to use the Cypher Pottermore to just show it some love. And yeah, it attacks really quick, but you gotta be so close to these dudes. I don't want to know your like social security numbers. And we also get an Ash of War we're gonna be using a little later. Lion's Claw. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this one. These dudes legitimately are just here staring at like nothing. I went here thinking there was an item. Our next target right now is Ezekiel's. That's not his name, right? Cypher was not tearing through as well as I hoped. I thought I was fisting him with the power of God. We do get Scarlet Rotted, but thankfully we still have Flame Cleanse Me. Again, with incantations, you have a couple of things to help you out in situations like this. I don't know what's happening. This dude is lost, but we do ensure the W by sniping him with range. I'm not going up there. Do you see how big that dude is? And in the swamp, we get Poison Armament. Why couldn't there be like a rot version of this? It just imbues your weapon with poison buildup and is definitely more reliable than Poison Mist. But after you already proc poison, what's the point of having this buff stick onto your weapon? It doesn't do any additional damage, just allows it to build up poison. So after that job is done, it's useless in your hands. I think the only good thing about it is it's pretty cheap with its FP. Like a perfect example, we go against O'Neil and we get the poison off. Great, now what? I'd say the best option is to just switch to a different weapon that you have mainly forged damage, and Cypher Pot is pretty quick so we can get a couple of successful attacks in between his swipes. And as he's summoning, he's just standing still. Here's a black flame for you, dummy. And there's another Dragon Communion here with much more versatile incantations. Now right here I have a question, since I get the Venomous Fang and it can be buffed with Poison Armament. It can be buffed with the incantation, but it does deadly poison buildup. Does this give it 70 more of that deadly poison buildup, or does it give it 70 poison buildup while it keeps its 72 deadly poison buildup? I don't care about that math conundrum though, since we can just tank these to the head. But we mostly did this cave for the Gold Scarab for more runes.
I am a risk taker. I'm a road runner.
We also go to Golri's shack, I think I'm saying it right, to progress Millicent's quest.
I'd hoped to ask a favor when one of your ilk came along. A strapping young tarnished, able to cross the scarlet swamp of Aeonia. Don't fret, I'll provide fine recompense. Her name is Millicent. You will find her beyond Celia, resting at the church atop the cliff, stricken by the rotting sickness.
To open some pathways, we gotta light up these candles up here. We also get the Spelldrake Talisman +1. I was doing too well and I got cocky and died in this fight. Don't be cocky. That's coming from me, Johnny.
Who's there? Well, it matters not. If you are wise, you will leave immediately. My flesh writhes with scarlet rot.
I got this giant on his knees and pretty much tickled his taint to death.
I'ma have to you down on some gangster shit.
I give Millicent the unalloyed gold needle.
You ask that I stab myself with the needle to quell the scarlet rot. But how? Never mind. I've decided I would rather trust you than simply continue to spoil from within.
It took me so many tries to successfully land in this building. And this one Knight's Cavalry I had so much difficulty with that at the end I was just throwing knives because I didn't want to 1v1 him and lose all my progress. I was stuck here for like 20 minutes. Dude, I legit just dealt with one of y'all. Get out. Just please get out of here. With not much else to do, I just decided to head to Redmane's castle. This was a tactical move, alright? I planned this since birth. And this one Scarab also gives us Flaming Strike. And we made it in time for the Radon Festival.
Champions! Welcome! The stars have aligned! The festival is nigh! General Radon, mightiest demigod of the Shattering, awaits you!
Thought I might find you here. I must admit, I was a little worried. We missed our meeting. But it looks like you're still in one piece, eh? You must have heard by now, right? That Star-Scourge Radon holds Rani's fate in stasis. But once he's out of the way, it'll spring back into motion. So now, we stand against the demigod once known as the strongest of them all.
Ah, you came. How delightful. Indeed, I thought I might find you here. By the by, do you know for whom this festival is being held? Well, it is none other than General Radahn himself. To think, I could face a great champion of the Shattering, a demigod in the flesh.
Before we begin, allow me to paint you the full picture. General Radahn is cursed ever to wander. Eaten from the inside by Melania's scarlet rot, his wits are long gone. Now he gathers the corpses of former friends and foes alike, gorging on them like a dog. But now, we must make merry.
O gathering of champions, the revels begin. The celebration of war. The Radahn Festival!
Alright, we're going into this fight with a plan. Alright, dodge the first projectile. I don't have anything else figured out. But for this fight, I knew I wanted to summon 3 people. Alexander, Blythe, and just get Patches in here because I know he's about to de-summon. What I wanted to do was get the poison off with the venomous fangs and then switch to the Morning Star so we can go and focus more on bleeding this dude. And anytime he's away from us and targeting our teammates, I bring out the Frenzied Burst to hit him at long range. Oh, he said I was too far to give a smooch to.
Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth. I'm feeling romantical.
My man realized he needs to get a job finally and gets on out of here to look for one, and returns with the rejection letter. I'm always surprised at how far I can actually throw a fireball towards him. And he just decided to throw these rocks at me.
They're minerals! Jesus, Marie!
Yeah, I'm him. For like most of my fights, I forgot about this shockwave attack right after this, and he pulled out this move twice on his second phase. But the Black Flame gets a gold star of the week, and we finish Radahn with 9 attempts. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun going against the second phase with the HUD off. It looked so beautiful. And we talk to the homies right after the battle ends. Mental illness is important, don't forget that. Remember to occasionally check up on your homies.
Ah, good. I was waiting for you. What a sick way to fight, eh? The glory of the clash is shared. By Radahn. And you. And did you see that afterwards? A falling star right before our eyes. I can't fathom how Radahn was holding back something of that scale. He was a living legend if ever I saw one. And the path has now been cleared. To Nokran, where Ranni's fate will be decided. Let's meet where the falling star bit the earth. We'll take up our swords once more. For Mistress Ranni.
Ah, hello there. It was a battle marvelously fought. You are well and truly a champion, friend. I, on the other hand, am nothing but a crock. One hit was all it took to crack me, and for my insides to come spilling out. After that, my hid like a coward. And as such, I can hardly stand to face one such as you. But don't you think I've given up just yet. As luck would have it, there's a veritable mountain of warriors' bodies right here. If I can just squeeze this bunch down inside me, I'll be a mighty warrior again in no time. And you know, the bodies found here are exceedingly fine. Who could expect any less from the very warriors who fought in the Shattering? The greatest of all wars. Just you wait and see, friend. I'll grow even stronger. Just you wait when next we meet.
We take out another Tibia Mariner in the Altus Plateau. I'm doing this from behind. Oh, those are back shots. We also return to Millicent since she's alright now.
I hoped to see you again. My apologies for when last we met. I fainted before I could even thank you. Everything is as you said. Since inserting the needle, the scarlet rot has ceased to writhe. Even the nightmares have abated. And now, though I can scarcely believe it myself, I can move as I please. Not that I could ever truly repay you, but I would like you to have this, by way of thanks. A token though it is. On a journey, with the needle buried in my flesh, I've started to recall, but dimly, my destiny. It's all thanks to you. My name is Millicent. I pray fate permits us meet again.
And then we inform Gowry of her condition.
Please make certain that little Millicent goes unharmed. Like her mother, she has the stuff to be a great warrior.
Girl, how did you get up here? I didn't even hoist the medallions.
Ah, we meet again. In truth, it's been smooth sailing for me. The scarlet rot has stilled since last we met. As such, I've been able to continue my journey. Though rather vexingly, I realized that if I still had my sword arm, I could have aided you in battle. Now I'm tracing the path Melania took, after unleashing the power of the Scarlet Rot during her battle with General Radahn in the Caelid Wilds. I should like to meet her. This vanished woman. I think she's in the north, in the lands that lie beyond the Erd Tree.
To progress our questline, we gotta go to the Shaded Castle, and I'm gonna say right now, you would not want to see a perfumer at night in a hallway or something. We get Valkyrie's prosthesis. My friend told me to get closer and closer. It's a Revenant. And we also activate Radahn's Great Room, which I don't really use. I mostly use Godric's because of those stat increases of 5 per each allow me to use different weapons and stuff like that. We give Millicent the prosthesis.
Are you giving me this arm? Thank you. I am in your debt yet again. I think if the arm serves well enough, it might be possible for me to wield a sword again. If the arm serves well enough, it might be possible for me to wield a sword again. Perhaps then I can aid you in battle.
Right now I'm back to just collecting a bunch of stuff I missed before. Right here beside Garok's area, you have to fall down and we can get the Quinchella. I definitely don't think I pronounced that right, but it'll make beast incantations stronger by 10%. It's not that good since the Clawmark seal isn't going to get that much scaling because we also don't put strength into it, so having both at a time isn't the strongest even with a 20% increase. What we are here for is the Dragon Crest Shield Talisman, which will decrease physical damage by 10%. We give more Death Root to Garok so we can get Bestial Vitality. It's the most cost efficient HP buff in the game, but I definitely see it as way too slow. It's not really meant for battle, but meant to just pop yourself and regenerate some lost HP while you're like adventuring. We also go and get Flame Grant Me Strength, which will increase your physical damage, your fire damage, and your stamina regeneration all at the same time. I would use it more often if it wasn't 30 seconds. That's way too short, and I get told that way too many times. But I usually prefer buffs that'll last way longer. Again, at least 60 seconds is my minimum. Again, not saying it's bad. I think you get a lot of use out of this thing if you're much better than me. We also go and get the red hot wet blade, and with this we can apply the flame art affinity to our weapons, allowing it to deal fire damage and scale off of faith. We're back in the Radon festival to take out these two bosses over here. This is a weird combo. Imagine seeing these two in like double dash. Oh, he tried to knock my ball out the air, didn't he? And not only that, we can get another incantation that's gonna be OP, Pest Threads. I didn't really use it at the beginning because I thought it wasn't that powerful, but you can use it on much larger targets, and as it passes through them, the threads can hit multiple times. So big enemies are definitely much more vulnerable to this and get hit more times than opposed to like a smaller enemy. You'll be seeing this a lot more in the end game when I really recognize its power. And I also decided I wanted my main weapon to also be a flame art claymore so I could test out this wet blade on it. I have to go back and see this dagger that I upgrade and never use again. Damn. And right now we're going to be putting Lion's Claw right on this claymore, and the damage is going to be so grand. Also, Radon's tower is explorable as long as you fall down, and will fight a Godskin Apostle. This weapon art is stagger material. I gotta wifey them up. Yo, I know Black Flame too. I know what I'm doing. Oh nah, he's a grower.
What is that, Rolf? The hat of discipline. Do you live in a cave?
Yeah, just a little bit off the top.
Guys, I'm going to get a haircut. I'm so excited. I'm gonna look so good.
And this dude was packing heat right behind him. As soon as we defeat him, we can now open the chest and we get the Godslayer's Greatsword. This thing scales mostly off of dex in terms of damage, but also has a good amount of faith scaling. The Ash of War just does a lot of damage on its own, but it hits 3 times and it has the Black Flame effect, which means if you get this full thing off, you'll be doing a lot of damage plus 7.5% of their HP gone. In this Everjail we fight, hey man, I already saw you, come on, get the hell on out of here. After defeating the Walmart Godric, we go and get his talisman. This talisman will increase the damage of charged skills and spells and incantations by 15%. So essentially when you're gonna hit someone with a charged hammer, they just turn it into a bus. We also gotta go and get some more smithing stones.
As a child, I yearned for the mines.
And we also go and get the lightning scorpion charm. It's time for Mount Gelmer, and the first obstacle in our way is another magma worm. I have the masculine urge to die in a war defending this incantation. Bro, Alexander's just chilling there. Or I guess the opposite. Hiding, I don't know.
Ah, good sir. What business might you have in such a place as this? I hardly think you're here to temper yourself with flame, considering that fleshly form of yours. Your timing, though, is impeccable as ever. I've been making just the thing for you on my journey here. Take it. I'm sure it'll suit you to a T. But, it's hardly more than lukewarm here. I won't be able to temper my body such that it'll never crack again. Perhaps I'll head eastward. There's an old saying I've caught wind of. Above the lofty clouds, the icy giant's peak doth soar. Here lieth the flame of ruin, which ever burning roars.
I wish I had the exact same confidence as this man. He's taking damage and he's just walking my way. Oh no, he pulled out the helicopter! But over here we get the fire scorpion charm. And killing this demi-human, we also get another memory stone. There's apparently a death root in this hero's grave. They still like me. The longsword with electrify armament and double slash, this is ludicrous. Alright, I want a nice fair clean fight and we're done. We got like 10 pieces of drip in this one room. Alright guys, gotta go. My ride's here. Okay, so who's the boss in this place?
Did you pray today?
You gotta be. Actually, I think we're well paced with this fight with the sword and with honed bolt. able to take this dude out in one attempt, as well as acquiring the death root. Over here we get the best incantation in the whole game, Comet's Azures.
Wind chill factor about 23, humidity 85%, a north wind at 13 miles an hour. Picking up some snow, are we?
And I forgot to do this, but with directions from my chat, we went on to try and complete Yura's quest line. Time to set up heading to Mohg's dynasty.
Oh, Lambkin, so pleased you're here. I'm glad that you're enjoying my gift. I knew it from the very start. You have a taste for noble blood.
If you don't want to do the PvP part, just get the blood from this girl.
Oh, good heavens. Clench your teeth or something. A medal granted by the new Mohgwyn dynasty, with the power to grant audience with Luminary Mohg. I've gone out of my way to provide one to you, but you mustn't use it just yet. The meeting must wait until the Mohgwyn dynasty commences. Luminary Mohg yet slumbers beside the divinity. We must endure a little longer.
Using this medal will actually teleport us to his palace, but we're not ready for that shit. Back to Mount Gelmir and oh, what is this?
Well, if you really are that gullible. Then stay away from the Volcano Manor! Bye now! Take care!
Took a while for me to find this piece of shit, but I gotta talk to you after class.
Oh my! Well, here you are again. Oh, so sorry for that. I meant to warn you, but whoop, there you went. Despite my best intentions, I've done you wrong. I have. But here you are, standing tall and proud. All's well that ends well, eh? And my warning was spot on. You tell me different. Stay clear of Volcano Manor. End of discussion. I heard the brutes there hunt tarnished like animals.
So we pretty much reached the very top of Mount Gelmir, and we find a falling beast star here. Did I just try not to dodge? Was I completely fine with getting 2 hit right there? Again, huge beast, so for any close range encounters, we bring out the frozen lightning spear. And anytime he wants to take a break, we just bring out the regular one. No, you cannot take a 5. Get back in there and smile at the customers. We can hop on down to what would be the entrance of Volcano Manor. I do defeat these Kindred of Rot so I could get their Kindred of Rot exaltation. I mostly just thought about using this so I could run Poison Mist or Poison Armament and have this talisman to boost my own damage after proccing it. But I just thought it was worth too much effort. I never went through with it. This attack would look great as like a roller coaster. And as we climb up, we also find Golden Vow. Now this is really good because this is again gonna count as an aura buff, not a body buff, so it can stack with some of the other incantations that we already have. It's just really solid extra damage and damage resistance. There's really nothing not to love about it. Go and clear out some more catacombs so we can get some extra death root and get goddamn jump scared because this dude actually wants to scrap with me right now. Bro, I go and collect your shit and you treat me like this. I fight him from outside the doorway because I'm not trying to fight him naturally. Thankfully, you don't need to reduce that much HP to get him back to normal. But after that, he gives us both Beast Claw and Stone of Garak. He already showed us Beast Claw when we were just fighting him, but you dig your hand into the ground and hit with like 5 swipes. You can charge it so we can get some Godfrey icon out of it, but a target can only be hit once. Even if they're wide enough to get hit by what looks like 3, they're still going to only take damage according to 1. Personally with me, I don't think I've ever really used it because I didn't think the damage was just adequate enough. But next we got a really good incantation, Stone of Garak. Pocket Stone. This thing is pretty fast and you can chain cast it, so as long as you have stamina you can keep on lobbing those stones. Does really good damage and it's physical damage, so it can get boosted by a lot of things that increase physical. And not only that, it does a lot of stance damage. Oh my god. I would say it's probably a little bit too slow if things are very far away, so maybe medium range is best. But don't sleep on this incantation. You'll regret it. Time to follow up with a quest in Volcano Manor.
Aren't you precocious? We rarely receive visitors to the Volcano Manor without invitation. Fascinating. And not unlike another guest we had long ago. So, tarnished. Have you ever harbored doubts about the burden of grace and the dogmatic ramblings of the Fingers? If you have, why not join the Volcano Manor and fight with us?
Bro, my man switched sides?
It's you, is it? Well, nice to see you again. So you've been invited as well, I see. Then we're comrades in arms henceforth. You watch my back, and I'll watch yours. Yes? I can tell. You're wondering about Lanya. Well, you see, after much internal debate, I've come to realize revenge is not the answer. According to Lady Tanith, I've got the stuff of champions. And champions, ironic as it is, are oft forced to walk a tainted path. It hit me like a bolt from the blue, that my former thoughts were simple naivety. Of course, my heart weeps for Lanya. That unfortunate incident was a cruel twist of fate indeed. But succumbing to the pain and sadness caused won't make me a champion, will it? Lanya knows this, I'm certain. Fate has laid hard roads for us both, but such is true of any road trod by champions.
With this quest, we gotta go kill a bunch of other Tarnished, I think, and my weapon of choice was just the longsword with the Electrify Armament spell. I hope that painting wasn't worth much. We enter Volcano Manor and this serpent gives us the welcome treatment. What have you been eating in there? This dude just doesn't stop. But also in Volcano Manor we get the Erd Tree Seal. Now this is the best scaling seal in the game, better than Godslayer's. After 69 faith. So yeah, until we get faith to that incredibly high level, it's just much better to stick with the Godslayers. And I don't mean to be that guy, but I thought this was Alexander because all jars look the same. Hey, come on. Someone had to say it, alright? I'm not even wrong. My chat had a bunch of good comments for this moment though. Jarist. All jars might look the same, but Alexander is built different. Ah yes, some of them I assume are good people. I have a jar friend, I swear. Excuse. He's one of the good ones. Mentality. Oh my, I just hate these enemies. I don't really have any other commentary than that. I just hate these enemies. Whoever made lava as undamaging as it is, I'll name my first kid after you. Another dragon heart to the collection. This thing is getting big. And at the halfway point, we gotta go against the Godskin Noble. And right here, Stone of Garak, even with the Cincada, I forgot this weapon, boost, and Beast Claw aren't doing that much damage. But the thing is, the Claw Mark Seal isn't really leveled up, and it requires strength to get more scaling out of it. So I can't blame the incantation for not doing as much damage as I wanted. I should have just stuck with my other one, because we probably could have used less stone throughout all this fight. But even with all that, it was a pretty flexible incantation. Yeah, I'm an adrenaline junkie. After getting him stoned a couple more times, we kill him and get Noble Presence. This incantation's like a short shockwave attack, and if charged can launch enemies in the air, and it does, you know, the black fire effect of draining their HP, but it doesn't do that much damage even when I had the right seal equipped, and it's 20 FP. It costs a good amount and you don't really get much out of it. And we find Yura after, I believe, a battle, about to die.
Seems I am no match for you, but I've learned a thing or two myself. You see, I've sliced the finger off. Please. Please.
precious blood no longer. Do not stain the immaculacy of your sword. Your flesh. Your fire.
The NPC that killed him respawns to also try and kill us, but we get them in a corner with Lion Claw. I don't care what the military budget is, it's nothing against this Ash of War. We also get the Purifying Crystal tier, which we need for the Moog fight, that I completely thought I was ready for. We head on to kill Vade, and we just pretty much did this for fun. We don't even want his bouquet. That shit literally has to be in the trash. But yeah, these were my attempts to go after Moog. Very underleveled.
Dearest Mikola, you must abide alone a while. Welcome, honored guest, to the birthplace of our dynasty.
I tried to use pest threads, wondering if he was big enough to get hit multiple times. Oh no, oh I sniffed that armpit good. I really tried to bless myself up before this fight, just praying that I had a better chance. He did not listen to those prayers. So my weapon. It's like level 12. Yeah, I know you can notice. We eventually did get him to phase 2 and were able to use the Purifying tier. And I thought this imagery was kind of cool. But nah, I was so overwhelmed, I got crumbled. With how much he was polluting the area with blood, I was so overwhelmed looking at everything that I didn't know if I could eventually beat this. This one attack is my downfall. I always pre-roll and get hit. I panic too much. Eventually I mostly just switched to using an electric claymore build for the lightning spears and electrify armament. And we got a pretty good amount of staggers throughout the whole fight. But I'm telling you, it was mostly like a battle of attrition at this point, and I was always losing. But eventually, after 23 attempts, I just gave up and decided I'll have to come back to this later. Before trying for Leyendale, I decided to explore more of the Altus Plateau, more of this like caved in woods area. There was this one invisible mage tower that I wanted to get, hoping it would give me a memory stone, but it just gives you some unseen spells. Like, I'm already invisible to most people, this ain't exactly helping. We go on to more caves to get some more smithing stones and find like another fake Estelle here that we can just snipe down. We also get an Arsenal Charm to increase our equip load so we can have better armor. 2 Crystallions here, but they just end up talking to the tail. Ridding them both of this life, we also get their bell bearing for somber smithing stones. And I upgrade my dexterity just a bit so we can wield some other weaponry. And in the Woodfolk ruins, there's a chest down here holding the incantation Wrath of Gold. It's the equivalent of Wrath of God from Dark Souls, but now it deals holy. I might be wrong, but I don't think charging it actually deals more damage. I think it gives it more range and more stance damage, but it only gets more damage if we have the Godfrey icon. It's one of the only incantations I have that can deal holy damage without relying on also intelligence to cast. I would say if you do make a build around holy damage, this thing can succeed. But use it carefully because it's expensive using 40 FP. This crowd didn't pray, but I'll do it for them. Prayers don't care about walls. Oh, you're just vibing. And we also get from this scarab protection of the Erd Tree. It negates all elemental damage by 30%. I bring it because I'm not familiar with the entire game, so this will help with every element if I don't know what I'm going against. But it's already weaker than all of the other fortification incantations. You'll probably intentionally bring it if an enemy does 2 damage types at the same time so you can negate both by 30%. But if you already know the game and you already know what you're going into, use the other fortification spells or the other spells that specialize in one element but do an even better job with damage negation. Yo, can I join the party? It just looks like they're having fun. Like, if I could, I would like default dance. There's another god skin up here, so I decided to start the fight really far away. This dude does not know how to trade Black Flame for Black Flame. I don't really have anything for added holy damage, but this spell does pretty good. I'm so surprised the extra sapping of my health didn't end up killing me. But after beating its long neck, we get Scouring Black Flame, which is more of like a close range Black Flame incantation. Just hit whatever is in front of you with high damage. If it's a big target, it's definitely much easier to land. Also has the Black Flame effect. This is one I really do like using. And also Millicent's also up top here after the fight.
Ah, we meet yet again. The arm you gave me truly is a thing of wonder. It feels just like my own. Even handling a sword. Perhaps it is foolish to say this to you of all people, but I am sure of my skill with the sword. Thus, I would have you call upon me in battle, should you ever have the need.
That's a pose of just sheer confidence. Another Falling Star Beast, and we have a chance to actually test Scouring Black Flame. And I'm not gonna lie, I think the range is still pretty decent on this. After a couple casts they go down, and then we also took out the 2 tree sentinels out front. Over here we collect the Golden Order seal. Now this is a seal that requires intelligence to use, and it buffs other Golden Order incantations. And the Golden Order incantations usually also need intelligence to use. So because I'm focusing mostly on faith, I won't really be using this thing or the Golden Order incantations, which a lot of them do holy damage, so we're locked out of that. Really good for a hybrid build, but that's not who I'm trying to be. Oh, it's really hard to ignore that damage. And it's really hard for me to ignore this. Call me a all you want. I am a certified coward. I'm not fighting these dudes up close. I wanted to try and use more of this sword so we get the Godslayer's Greatsword to +6. We also meet the Golden Mask, and thankfully he's not doing that type of salute. But I was told by my friend to go and check out this hero's grave. This part isn't really difficult, just be very patient. This dude was waiting on my downfall. At the end there's a door here, and when I open it, I just see how bloodshot my eyes are. God damn. And down here are 2 Crucible Knights with 2 different Ashes of Wars on their weapons. To showcase this Ash of War, we slice through this dude's HP so fast. And I wanted to kill one before we go after the other. Oh, I want that. I was constantly harassed before I could kill Ordovis with a lightning spear. But with one of them down, the other Crucible Knight wasn't really that hard to take care of. Oh yeah, my lightning bolt was faster. But after killing them, we get the Crucible Knight set and the Ordovis Greatsword. The Crucible set is not only really good in giving us good defenses and 71 poise, but for each piece of armor you wear, it gives you a 4% increase in Crucible incantations. So rocking the whole set will give you an extra 16% damage on those Crucible incantations. So it gives good defense, good poise, and a really good effect. And we have the Ordovis Greatsword, which scales off of both strength and faith for physical and holy damage. It's a pretty good sword, but its power really comes from its Ash of War, Ordovis Vortex. The Ash of War does an immense amount of damage, but it does like 66 poise, which is insane. With a few casts of these charged, I can just stagger a lot of big enemies, and anyone small enough will just get straight up flattened. And it's an AoE, so if something does try to dodge, they have to do it really quick to get out of the way. So from this whole hero's grave, we get really good armor, really good weapon, and a really good Ash of War. And it is a little slow, but this thing is really fun to use. And we get the sword up to +6 as well. Because of the armor, we get about 1,000 damage from the tail. And after that, with just a few Ashes of War, we're staggering this Sentinel. And I build up the stagger again because it just does so much damage in the process. I staggered him like twice throughout the fight, and the Dragon Tree Sentinel went down in all of just like one attempt. But we finally made it inside Leyendell. They're just blowing bubbles at me. Oh, that cranium has to go! It's also like a perfect stealth attack. He didn't hear this from behind, so he'll hear the earth shake. But don't cement yourself in front of bolts like I did. I need rehab. I'm addicted to using this throughout the entire Leyendell. Hell, even this Crucible Knight, who should be fairly resistant, just can't handle the pounding.
It's the hammer! It's real! Oh no, bro.
We get a nice little shortcut all the way to the top, and I forgot to do so, but we talked to Melina.
My utmost thanks for bringing me to the base of the Erd Tree. Here, I can govern my own movement, and thus, the accord is fulfilled. I shall depart to ascertain the purpose I was given. Farewell. I shall leave Torrent, and the power to turn runes into strength. Here, with you, I wish you luck in realizing your ambition. You have fought long and hard. I have no doubt you will become Elden Lord. May you take the throne.
Tell me, where did you spawn from? Like, legit, were you just waiting in the air? Okay. I should have expected that. Killing him drops a nice Lord room. He already knows my status before anyone else. This lever out here unlocks the door to the physical round table hold. Oh, these sewers are peddling drugs. We also get the Erdsteel dagger, but I use it much later in the game. Underneath Leyendell, we do find the shunning grounds. Bro, why even 100 people versus one gorilla? Just send me in there. But I can just stun lock riposte these guys. But I just decided we might as well head on through this like sewer. And this dude was like the biggest problem of all the enemies down here. This message said visions of jumping. So I got a shortcut so I could jump without consequence. Okay, now, this was actually the scariest enemy down there. He had me trapped in a corner, you... We're walking across some sewer pipes, but we do see that it's probably best if we go down. Oh nah, don't bring out the lobster! There's a little cave over here, and it's just a shortcut. I thought we would have explored something. And we get Ordovis to +7, and the Godslayer Seal to +20. Oh, they wanted me over here. I didn't test this consumable, but it scales off of both intelligence and faith. There's this elevator that takes us all the way down, and oh, that was a jar. Oh, that was a jar. Alright, who's next here? Bro, I legit just ran away from fighting you. Come on. Okay, this Moog is much more manageable. He has less HP, and he also doesn't have the second phase, so we don't have to deal with as much blood. And it wasn't too difficult. Honestly, I think we got this on our first try, and it was good practice for when we go back to the real one. We get the Erdtree's Favor +1, so just a better version of the one we already have. But the rest of the way is actually sealed off, so we can't progress any further. So I just decided to explore the rest of Leyendell, and off of this one night we get a very useful item, the Gravelstone Seal. This boosts Dragon Colt incantations by like 15%, which is pretty much like all of the lightning incantations. Again, not really gonna level the thing up, mostly just gonna keep it on my offhand, so I use the Godslayer Seal to use the actual incantations while I have this to give it the same boost. But for real, now lightning just got even stronger. But we make our way inside the real round table hold and get the Two Fingers prayer book. And in here we get the Sanctified Wet Blade, which allows us to put holy and lightning damage on our weapons. But lightning affinities scale off of dexterity, so I can't just put lightning on a weapon and rock with it. And we also get the coated sword, which is pretty much just a lightsaber, which is Ash of War. But compared to like something like the Cypherpada, it's just a long sword version. I'm gonna tell you right now, a mouthful of these words are gonna hurt. And to go against the boss, my chat calls piss free. I mostly just stuck to 1v1s instead of all that fancy spells and croutons, because this dude was fast. I don't really think I could get much on him, even breaking my stance for my Ash of War, which I thought I had a really good time on. But it wasn't bad. We did end up beating him in one attempt. And not only that, with his defeat, we also get the final talisman pouch, so we can hold 4 at a time. We also gotta kill another target for Bernthal. That's not his name. I realize when I'm summoned, I don't have my rune arc, so I actually can't hold the greatsword and use its Ash of War. I just look like a idiot, which is all fine. We still made do with our incantations and also trying out the Cypherpada again in our time of need. Also at the Dragon Communion, I decided to pick up a couple incantations, notably the one that can cause frostbite and Scarlet Rot. And I don't really like to use these because if you look at the top left, just see how much FP is going in the trash. I will say it's not that bad. And we also get Blessing of the Erd Tree. This is the least efficient regeneration spell. It costs 60 FP, so double of Blessing's boon, but it only gives you 12 HP per tick. I don't know why. I thought it was more efficient than it actually was, but I do stick with this incantation more often. But I'll say normally it's way too costly unless you have like infinite FP. And it's time for the encounter with the real Margit.
Graceless, tarnished. What is thy business with these thrones? Ah, Godric the Golden. The twin prodigies, Mikola and Melania. General Radahn. Praetor Rykard. Luna Princess Rani. Willful traitors, all. Thy kind are all of a piece. Pillagers, emboldened by the flame of ambition. Have it writ upon thy meager grave. Felled by King Morgoth, last of all kings.
I'm gonna say my first few attempts were really just trying to get some cool dragon footage. Like, look at this stuff. Alright, so when we actually start the fight, we use Margit Shackle to pin him down. Yeah, you like that, don't you? And then proc Frostbite on him with the Dragon Ice. And to show you the power of the Gravel Seal, look at that HP just go down. And you already know the drill, he doesn't like that breath, but he can't avoid this burst. And even his phase transition is just an opportunity to spoon feed him 2 lightning spears. Okay, wait, doesn't work during phase 2. After that, it was a pretty easy fight. We did end it with Ordovis, and we only died 2 times to this guy. And we can explore the mountaintops now, but I want to try a detour. Alright, so the Erd Tree is actually blocked by many thorns, so we converse with Melina again.
Hello again, old friend. Allow me a moment to converse with you. You were unable to enter the Erd Tree, no? Prevented by the mantle of barbs. The thorns are impenetrable, a husk of the Erd Tree's being that spurns all that exists without. The only way to stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord.
is to pass the thorns. My purpose serves to aid in that very act. So I'd like you to undertake a new journey with me to the Flame of Ruin, far above the clouds, upon the snowy mountaintops of the giants. Then I can set the Erd Tree aflame and guide you down the path to becoming Elden Lord.
We have the Roid medallion to make it to the mountaintops, but the beef with Moog is just getting started. I forgot where I got it, but he has a shackle too, and I just do the same thing of frostbiting him right off the bat.
I hope my horrible ugliness won't be a distraction to you.
Not at all, boy!
Which makes him take more damage, and again, I'm going with lightning for this fight all the way. Also, I'm just noticing how much HP this dude gets during his second phase transition. Like, are you serious? I feel like I got taxed on something, but most of the time I just kept my distance, and when I had enough, I just launched some more on him. He could not handle this swagger, but I ran out of FP, and I tried to switch to my sword at the very end, which I didn't even put it on my hand, and I just ended up dying. This was the most pathetic jump attack I've ever seen myself do. I had to reallocate and give myself an extra cerulean flask so that we had enough FP throughout the fight to actually kill that mist. At the end, I would just got scared and threw faster lightning spears instead of charging them up. But here's my last minute against the boss. I ate a gold pickled foul foot and also put on the talisman for more runes. And after this, we got 655,000 runes. More than 500,000 after 26 attempts. I'm guessing he's supposed to be an even later boss, but based on just all that we just got, I'll never know what it's like to feel broke ever again. After all that, we got about 9 levels from the fight, and we can use the remembrance to get Blood Boon, but I just don't use it at all, mostly because of the arcane we need to put into it. But a star went and hit Limgrave, so we decided to go and explore that, and we make our way into the city of Nokron. And for a while I talked with my chat about the new Nintendo Switch 2 game prices, and like 70 to 80 bucks, what do they think I'm made out of? In a fight of me versus me, I believe that me would win. I'm also gonna say the Mimic tier can't copy your rune arc, so it can't even use the Ash of War on this thing. We have to light up more shrines, but I'm just gonna say this area has some of the best music I've ever heard. At least relaxing music. And we go around to try and find more of the shrine. Bro, come on, can't you just leave me alone? I couldn't find one of the shrines to light, so I just decided to head on further and kill some Crucible Knights. Yeah, I'm killing my own kind, what of it? And with this scarab, you'll find the incantation Order Healing. Now this one's pretty good actually. It alleviates Deathblight. Well, now I know who's getting a gold star on the fridge tonight. I haven't even met you and he's just laying it bare for me. I guess that's the aura of Johnny, like damn. It's not that serious, bro, just thug it out. I already hate going against any of these gargoyles at any point throughout any of the game. And you're telling me he gets to just call for backup? Why? And of course they breathe out poison, because they're goddamn toxic as cut them out of your life fast. We take out one of them and The other one is still a problem, but it's still at least one less problem to worry about. With the amount of range I had, I didn't really have to fight them at a time that much. But I light the last fire shrine and get to the regal ancestor fight, which I think I'm very over level for. Look at this damage. I was even able to keep up with their regeneration. That was insane. Luna ult out here. What did I hit? Like it's Phantom? I'll take it though. We also go and get the Black Wet Blade. There's no purpose in telling you. I just got it. I also get the Mimic tier. I don't use it, but just imagine walking into a room and seeing 2 Johnnies. This dude doesn't even have the stats to wield the weapon. He was just ready for it. And to continue with Ronnie's questline, we get the Finger Slayer Blade. This has got to be the worst water park attraction out there. Bro, we are almost digging our way to China with this one. And there's this one Erdtree avatar who doesn't even give you any tears after dying. Like, you're not as cool as the other ones. Gotta do some nifty parkour to get out of these branches. And when you kill another one of these ants that are big, again, you just get a huge rune out of it. Oh my god. Maybe pregnancy ain't bad. We get a bunch of Newman runes off of basically what feels like spawn camping. And we also get the incantation Elden Stars. Honestly, this incantation sounds badass. It belongs to one of the final bosses of the game, but it is absolutely one of the weakest incantations throughout the entire game. And this thing ain't cheap either. It costs 41 FP. Wait, really? I think even if you make a build around the holy damage, it's not going to do that well. And from another scare, we get lightning. Sonic. I still have some unfinished business at the Altus Plateau, like killing one of these dudes. You activated my trap card. He's got so much HP, even frozen lightning ain't hitting for that many numbers. What did you, huh? My lightning outdid their lightning. But we also get their incantation, we also get their incantation Lanciax's Glaive, like a horizontal sweeping lightning attack. Much more of a crowd focused incantation. Definitely wouldn't use it on bigger enemies, but people that are quicker and that are most likely to dodge your attacks, I would use this. And one of my encounters against a Black Knife assassin was not going too hot. They plucked me out of the air like I was fresh fruit off the vine. After rearranging their entire brain, they don't have the stance to not get riposted. And after that, we head to the Sainted Hero's Grave. But we do have the Black Knife, which also has the Ash of War Blade of Death. An enemy susceptible to this will get 10% of their max HP reduced, so you can start off a fight with this and just instantly take out 10%. And it does a strong damage over time effect. I think it's stronger than Black Flame even. But for some Stoneward keys, we also get the Crimson Sea Talisman, just an extra 20% to our Crimson Flasks. I forgot where I got this, but we have Dragon Bolt Blessing. So it gives you more status resistance, makes you more susceptible to lightning damage, but it also gives you tier 2 hardness. Oh, yo, Johnny knows how to get hard. Essentially what I'm reading, because I didn't use this thing, is that Single swipes on lighter weapons will just bounce right off of you instead of continuously going through. They can't just chain attack. I'm sure it's useful in certain scenarios when you're going against certain enemies that you know will be using those types of attacks or just can't bypass tier 2 hardness. And that's about all it does. And it's a body buff, so you're giving up the other options that you have. With how big and heavy some of the bosses are, I just tend to not use this. It's another cave where the enemies have to walk into this light to be damaged. I hate this. We also get the Dragon Crest +1 for some more physical damage defense. Dude could not tank anything. He was like anorexic or something. We go and talk to Cornhin. Oh, that's his name.
Do you sport with me? From your description, it can be no other than the Gold Mask himself. Of course, I knew he would be close by. Bless the Golden Order and its benevolent rays. And to you too, my sincerest thanks.
And now he's following the Gold Mask, dude.
The Master is always deep in contemplation, while I frantically attempt to record his wisdom, the movement of his finger. And though I am yet to comprehend even the daintiest morsel of his wisdom, I know that this is my life's calling. The Golden Order has bestowed me, talentless as I am, the great duty of documentarian.
I also get Discus of Light mostly just as a collectible. I admit, I think it's pretty good for how cheap it is. I'm just not really trying to put intelligence onto this build. Off of the prayer book, we give it to the turtle. He's such a good boy. But we get Lord's Aid. It gets rid of poison, blood loss, and sleep. Next! And we can also get Lord's Heal. It's the best heal in the vanilla game, but it's so expensive. Unless you're a full-on tank with a bunch of HP and a bunch of things to increase your HP percentage, I don't think you're really gonna get that much full use out of it. I might be wrong there, but for its cause, you can get 2 or 3 lower damaging spells and just kill something instead of using this. I pretty much ignore most enemies and explore the rest of the deep roots looking for like smithing stones. There's also another Crucible Knight down here who will give us another type of weapon of his. He just drilled me. After killing them, we also get their weapon Siluria's Tree, but it kind of feels like getting 2 Pokemon games and having to choose one between the Ordovis Greatsword or this, and I'm going with Pokemon Red, baby! I gotta give it to it though, that's sick. But what I'm told is to actually go after Fortisax, we have to continue Fia's quest line.
Greetings, great champion called by grace. I am Fia. Circumstances have compelled my stay at the Round Table Hall. Great champion, would you allow me to hold you? But briefly, perhaps you might share with me some of your lively vigor and your stout-heartedness. Doing so will grant me the warmth of a champion, and you, I am sure, will bear a Balderkin's blessing. Do you think it vulgar, perhaps? Where I come from, it is a sacred act. Ah, my thanks, great champion.
I just want someone to love me for who I am.
I lay with the remains of an exalted noble, to grant him another chance at life. To do so is the purpose of my being. But before I could bear the noble into new life, I was awakened by the guidance of grace and chased from my birthplace. Pray, be kind. Despite all that, I still wish to be a deathbed companion. So please, let me hold you like this, as often as it takes. My dear, might I ask something of you? Could you please find the owner of this dagger and return it to them?
We also give the Finger Slayer blade to Ronnie.
Ah, it was thee, not blithe it seemeth. Even in my slumber I sensed it. It is in thy possession, is it not? The hidden treasure of Nokron. My thanks. Finally, all the pieces are in place. Soon must I begin my journey. Upon the dark path only I may tread. Ah, but before I leave, I shall entrust thee with this.
And we can use this on the Carrion study hall to flip the entire place. Like, that frown you got, please remember to smile today. And there's another guy who just likes to snipe. Well, do you like this treatment? Do you? When I walk on stuff like this with a big height, I'm not even gonna lie, my ass cheeks love to hug each other. And at the bottom we have door. And down here we have another god skin to go after. How many of them are you? Bro, this is so unfair. I don't have a pillar to block this. After killing this one, it gives us armor, and its robe will increase noble presence by 20%, which is like adding a spoonful of salt to the ocean. And up here we also get the curse mark of death.
The power of the Golden Order to aid the hunt of those who live in death.
Why do these things really need intelligence? Why can't I just stay stupid? Oh. I wonder who did it.
Finally, it is returned to its rightful place. The stolen Hallowbrand of the exalted noble. And now, I must bid you goodbye as well. Though I ask you deliver this message to the Round Table Hold. I am Fia. Deathbed companion.
No, wait. Mommy, you hugged me once. Don't go. Please. We return to the deep route, but we have to face Fia's champions first. Get slugged. Bro did not take any notes on his previous teammate. There's no way you're just charging me again. They spawn as a team and they die as a team. That wasn't even my Ash of War. That was just a regular jump attack.
What is it you intend? To deny us and our ways, like the dogmatic brutes of the Golden Order? You are an odd one. I am the guardian of those who live in death. They call me a foul and rotten witch. Yet you still wish to be held by me? I choose to lie with Godwyn of my own will. Not the remains of one chosen for me, and I will bear a child who will inherit your warmth too. What greater blessing could there be but to be born a deathbed companion?
I feel like a photographer, but better. I'm just getting some really cool shots out here. Just look at this. I swear I've done this in one of my in-head scenarios when I like saved the high school or something when I was like 16. First off, protection to protect ourselves from the lightning. Huge targets, so even more pest threads. And since the setup is more optimized, Stone of Garak is hitting some mean numbers, especially on the head, and very quick at it. I swear there are times I'm just not even paying attention and it's fine. I can even get hit by his lightning and it's not going to do that much at all. I might be wrong, but did Beast Claw actually hit twice there? Imagine Aura walking. but you can't take the damage, like, just rush at me. And because I was getting the cool clips, I did save and quit, so this all was really one attempt, never died to this dude. I need to know, did I go in over leveled? I feel like I did, and if I didn't, it would have been a much better fight. And with all of that, Fia's physical body is dead. That's what you get for not getting with me, you know, and going with a corpse. And we hand this dude earlier the twinned armored set, and he went like crazy and just assaulted Fia's dead corpse, thinking he killed her.
Prince of Death, take a good long look. See the wrath of the Golden Order, the Order's justice writ in blood. This is what's become of your precious witch. Naught but expired meat and bone. This is a proper death, O Prince. Look at this rotten whore. No more children can be got from this useless flesh. Behold, your mother is dead. This is revenge, you witch. And you ghoul. This is the wrath of D.
After that, we get the armor set back with the inseparable sword, which is just a sword with a sacred blade. Ronnie was really thinking the rent here was way too high, so we decided to follow the portal she went through, down into another part of the Einzel River. There's a jar joke somewhere in here. How many of you live down here? Am I infiltrating your home? You can actually speak to the miniature Ronnie. I probably look loony.
Or is it merely thy habit to talk to dolls? Fine. Fine. I hadn't expected any soul to recognize me in this guise. But now the cat is out the bag. I cannot allow thee thy freedoms. Perform for me a service as recompense. Eliminate the baleful shadows which prowl these lands. The name of Rani the Witch is already sullied by thee. I will not brook disobedience in this matter.
A bunch of these ants just have to get sniped. But there's this one huge one that pretty much has a shield around their head, forcing you to go around them to actually deal much more damage. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I like what Beast Claw did over here. I'm sorry, but I'm not accepting any Ubers.
Let us speak of the past a while. I was once an Empyrean, of the demigods. Only I, Mikola, and Melania could claim that title. Each of us was chosen by our own two fingers, as a candidate to succeed Queen Marika, to become the new god of the coming age, which is when I received Blythe, in the form of a vassal tailored for an Empyrean. But I would not acquiesce to the two fingers. I stole the rune of death, slew mine own Empyrean flesh, casting it away. I would not be controlled by that thing. The two fingers and I have been cursing each other ever since, and the baleful shadows are their assassins. I turned my back on the two fingers, the baleful...
I didn't even notice it during the fight, but my chat told me that this was Blythe that we were fighting, and it wasn't fair at all. I just kept on spamming like your younger brother who doesn't know the controls.
Beautifully fought. My thanks. 'Twas more of a challenge than I envisioned. Now I can finally stand before them. This is farewell, my dear. Tell Blythe and Iji I love them.
We're heading even farther down to discover the Lake of Rot. Thankfully we have Flame Cleanse Me, so we don't have to rely on consumables, so I just decide to use that as I explore throughout the entire area. We also rocked the mushroom set to keep our resistance up. For people that aren't me, there's these pillars that have pressure plates, which will bring up more platforms to use so you don't have to go through the rot. What's even the lore on basilisks? There's another Godskin soldier over here, but I spent so much time worrying about my positioning and not falling in that I get hit and just fall into the Lake of Rot as well. Eventually I just decided it's fine to fight him in the lake, but If I had not missed that, I definitely could have finished this. It's fine, I just stoned him the next time. I even got a stance break and just decided, hey, let's just stone him some more. The next fight was just really tame compared to the first. We also got the dragon scale blade. I hope to use this more in the DLC and use more frozen lightning weapons like this. My chat told me to come here. Why do y'all hate me? This is way too narrow a place to fight him, so I just decided instead of him putting me in a coffin, I'll just do this myself. That. Right here we're gonna fight Estelle, and I had no more FP, so I was completely just relying on the bar I had right here. I was surprised at how decent I was already at avoiding the lasers. I really need to take that comment back. But I was absolutely mashing the stones until we ran out of our FP for him. It was time for the greatsword, and it was getting its done. You know, it probably had to pay some taxes because of how much income it was bringing in. Honestly, the most annoying part was how many times he just decided to teleport away, and that. Also this too. I am never looking at the stars the same again. First of all, I'm confused on how we hit him twice right here, but we did defeat Estelle in one attempt. I was surprised. I didn't really know about this dude. Well, I did. I just was very unconfident when I went in here with no extra cerulean flasks. There's a seal to prevent us from progressing, but we just gotta go back to Renala and to get a chest for the Dark Moon Ring. And we can go and take an elevator to the top of an area in Liurnia. There's also a bunch of dragons just free to kill. Hey buddy, how's it hanging?
Oh brother, this guy stinks!
We get the Cerulean Amber Medallion +2, but there's also another dragon boss, Adula, up here. They weren't too bad. Well, no, that was kind of cold. Damn, I literally just shoved it through their eye.
Hey bro, watch your jet.
I missed?
Watch your jet, bro. Watch your jet!
After killing them, there is a church up here with a lot of starlight shards, which when used, they just allow you to gradually get FP. But at the very bottom, we find Ronnie, who we can finally complete her quest line. With all that, finally free from the hands of fate.
So it was thee who would become my lord. Perhaps I needn't have warned thee. I am pleased, however. Thou art a fitting choice. I go now to the night sky. It is there I shall find mine order. I bid thee travel the path of the Lord, and once all is done, we shall see each other once more.
If only we could actually use this great sword. Okay, realistically, what do you want me to do against that? We go back and find Cornhill in like existential problems.
The Master's reflections had heightened as we neared the Erd Tree, while still a precise calculus. The rhythms grew increasingly wild until he simply ceased. Now the Master is facing quite the puzzle. The Golden Order is founded on the principle that Marika is the one true god. However, the name of Marika's second husband, King Consort Radagon, also appeared. Who exactly was Radagon? The Master is stumped. His finger has remained still ever since Radagon's name was discovered. Curse my mediocre mind. The Master only has me. And here I fail him.
We find the Starfish, which we're going to be using much later. Why do the holy incantations just really need intelligence? Like, bro, Miyazaki, you almost had a perfect game. You just almost had a perfect game. For this next part, we needed to reallocate to get intelligence to use Law of Aggression. I also tested out Radagon's Triple Light. I also had a lot of difficulty following my chat's instructions. I swear to God, they were getting so mad at me. Some of them were probably just getting off of work and had to deal with a buffoon like me after joining in on my stream. But use Law of Regression from this distance and the statue will change. And we can tell this information to Korn.
To think that Radagon was Marika herself. Or at least, such is all I can interpret from the rhythm and calculus of his finger. How would such a thing even have been possible, I wonder? Sadly, I cannot comprehend it myself. Do you have a fuller understanding of the matter? Oh. Well, either way, I can continue my documentation. In truth, it matters very little whether I understand the Master's thoughts or not. I am merely his scribe. It is my sole and unwavering purpose.
We go back and put all of our stats back because I don't want intelligence for this. I'm very proud at the fact that I didn't hit the friendly dog here even though I was using AoE, that he was a good boy during this fight. That was hiding a huge bulge. There's no point in showing, I ran past all of the Forbidden Lands. If we go back up the elevator, then we can also find the Blade of Calling. It has a very samey... It has the same Ash of War animation as the Black Knife, but it doesn't do the HP or do the Black Destined Death effect, and it's pure holy damage is what I hear. I'm just gonna say I usually relied more on the Black Knife instead of using this, but I do hope to use more of this during the DLC, maybe even paired with the Black Knife. Is dementia hitting me up early or something? There's two, I guess, felled twins that we have to fight in the void. Rocks for breakfast. We get Morgoth's and Mohg's Great Runes. Like I said, yeah, I skipped everything here. I wasn't even gonna fight the Gargoyle. I'm done with all that. Actually, I did fight them. I just brought Millicent because I didn't want to do all this by myself. If I could get some assistance, why not? And Millicent was clinging on to life there. I also went and duplicated Fortisax's Remembrance so we can get both of their incantations. First one up is Death Lightning and just strikes around you with a bunch of bolts that create clouds for Death Blight. Death Light is entirely useless for playing PvE, so it's not really good for that aspect, and the lightning bolts are also random. I think if you get lucky you can do some good damage, but I don't want to put it all onto luck. Then we have Fortisax's Lightning Spear. And I'm in love with this thing. The power trip I get is insane. I could be a dictator with the pure energy from this. You go into the air and slam 2 lightning spears on the ground. It does have spread, but its best use is to be directly right in front of the opponent and hitting them with both lightning spears to get the full effect out of it, and I love it. And we can head on and use the Roy Medallion to go on up to the mountaintop of the giants. Yura is possessed by Shabriri.
Finally, we meet the Tarnished, the would-be Lord. Oh my. Why the long face? I fear that you were previously acquainted with this vessel. Well, that is most unfortunate. For he is dead. As for his flesh, he gave it to me. Shabriri, I hope you can make your peace with that. You are about to sacrifice something precious, the life of a fair maiden, that you would toss into the fiery forge, only so that you may be Lord. What a horrible thing to ponder. Your ascendancy requires her sacrifice, whether she wishes it or not. But how would the Lord, crowned so, be looked upon? Chosen, tarnished, and would-be Lord, dare to tread the path of true rigor. Spare the poor girl, and singe your own flesh in her stead. If you are prepared to show resolve, and attain lordship through righteous hardship, then heed the words of I, Shabriri.
We also get the Ancestral Spirit's Horn, which will give you FP as you kill enemies, but it's only 3 FP. Since I have a lot of FP, this is not much at all. Also, we go to where we defeated Mohg's clone because now the path isn't sealed off, but I fall off like 3 times during all of this. Okay, come on, this one wasn't really my fault. But on one of these platforms is Inescapable Frenzy, which allows you to grab an enemy and just force them to look at your eyes and get damage and madness. Too bad it only works on NPCs and other players though. Very useless, except for one encounter. After reaching the very bottom, the floor breaks and we encounter a very weird looking door that Melina warns us about.
If you intend to claim the frenzied flame, I ask that you cease. It is not to be meddled with. It is chaos, devouring life and thought unending. However ruined this world has become, however mired in torment and despair, life endures. Births continue. There is beauty in that. Is there not? If you would become Lord, do not deny this notion. Please, leave the frenzied flame alone.
But I decide I want to go through the door, which means we have to continue Hayeda's quest.
No. That's not possible.
This generation doesn't know what it's like to eat eyes. And to finish it off, we give her a fingerprint grape.
Oh. Oh. A fingerprint grape. Tried and true. What a wondrous thing. A fingerprint grape. Oh, how sweet. Yet, how it burns. Thank you. I've composed myself again. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you.
After all that and talking to her one more time, we can go on through the door.
So you're here as well, are you? I realized as we've talked, I'll be a maiden, and you, surely a lord. Go to the door ahead. After divesting yourself of your possessions, it will surely open, and the 3 fingers will welcome you. May the flame of chaos find purchase within you.
The flame of chaos has nestled within you. Could you please rest your hand upon me? Burn me with the flame to make me your maiden. Could you please rest your hand upon me? Burn me with the flame to make me your maiden.
I mostly did this so we wouldn't have to have had sacrificed Melina.
You have inherited the frenzied flame. A pity. You are no longer fit. Our journey together ends here. And remember, should you rise as the Lord of Chaos, I will kill you. As sure as night follows day, such is my duty. For allowing you the strength of runes. Goodbye, my companion. Goodbye, Torrent.
I swear, I only did this for your safety. I really just hit that pose as I was taking her eyes.
Get up, Kenneth! Kenneth, get up!
Oh, it burns. My eyes, they're melting.
And after that, we can go and get the Frenzied Flame seal. This gives a boost to our Frenzied incantations, and honestly, I've been waiting to pair this up with Frenzied Burst. Up here we get another somber bell bearing. Why is my dude whipping me like he remembers the old time? Dude is asking me to go back out there and get the cotton. I go into the catacombs in the Giant's Mountaintops, and I'm gonna tell you this catacomb was way too confusing. I am not editing down the whole thing because it's a mess. And the watchdogs down here, they've not given me this much trouble. You get some icy backshot, and I was told you can actually use Margit's Shackle to technically hit these pillars and force them to go down or up, which I used to our advantage to also make it hit the watchdogs. Before we fight this jar, I pulled out the lightning spears to thrust him down. I know I pulled that William Dafoe meme on him. I just had to rearrange my stuff, he wasn't a problem, and defeating him also got us another death root. We also get the Beast Claw Great Hammer after giving him the death root. Looks super cool, like the Ash of War. Never used this thing. I swear, if I was doing this, I would have had so much anxiety, but getting to the other side, we talked to Millicent.
To think we'd meet in such a place. What could your purpose possibly... No. I know well enough who you are. And what I know is good enough for me. Call upon me again. In battle, should you have the need. I'm searching for a fort to the north of the ruins. I heard the master of the fort was given a medallion that allowed him to visit the Halig tree. Indeed, I believe that is where Melania will be found. The Halig tree is hidden somewhere in these northern lands.
And I forgot invading also gets rid of our rune arc. And oh my god, you have a whip too, bro. I thought we progressed better through these times. So I had to pull out Ordovis mid-fight. And with those last few invasions, we end up finishing this quest line.
I see that you've stayed the path of champions. This is your usual reward. Please, take it. Perhaps you are ready. Might you see our Lord? Our Lord will no doubt welcome you. Another kindred spirit, treading the path of champions. Yes, as it should be. Now, close your eyes for a moment. I will transport you to the Lord's chamber. Farewell, then. May your visit be fruitful.
And it teleports us straight to Rykard's arena so we can end his life. This is what they've been waiting for. Oh no, yeah, I forgot that one. I also forgot there's a follow-up attack to this Ash of War, so I usually just one-timed it. I wanted to see if I could cheese him with Black Flame, that was not a route to take. But we did end up getting him past phase 1.
Very well. Join myself and King as remedy. Together we will devour the very god.
God, this arena is just so hot. What happened to this place?
Heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead.
And we got skulls on fire? And honestly, I was immensely harassed by so many skulls. I didn't really have a chance to heal, and when I did, it led to my downfall. Alright. This is what standing your ground gets you. Alright, I do eventually remember you can do this attack twice, and God! That damage really helped me get through his first phase even faster, and as we're going to phase 2, it's a perfect opportunity to buff up. Thanks to these defense buffs, this fire just really isn't hitting that spot. It's not going into my bones. And eventually we do take out Rykard in 4 attempts. Mostly you need the sword for this fight, so I had the fire talisman, the defense talisman, great armor. I'm the desk teachers tell you to get under when there's like a hurricane or natural disaster. And with his soul, we can get 2 things, but the one that can scale with our faith is Blasphemous Blade. Now this is really good because it scales off of faith, also has the effect when you kill something with it, or even if it's in your offhand, you get 4% HP. And the Ash of War does fire damage, scales purely off of faith, and when you hit something with it, you just gain 10% of your HP back. This thing is a monster, so I did buy it. I never ended up using it. I don't really know why. I at least wanted to give it a shot, but it just sounds like I would have ripped through so much more later on. Like, come on, this thing, it looks godly.
You. It's true then. You've defeated our lord. No. I must thank you. Our lord was yet weak. You have taught us that defeat is not the end. Our lord is immortal and will one day rise again. Stronger. Until then, I must stay the path and do my part.
So, you killed Rykard. I harbor you no ill will. The strong take. Such is our code. Even he was prepared to meet a wretched end when he first took blasphemy into his very flesh. But any road, the Volcano Manor is no more. Though we may yet fulfill an old promise. We hunted our own kind and took what was theirs.
Now I'm starting to get real heavy, so I used the Stoneward Key here to make it in front of the giant jar in front of the giant Colosseum, who are usually a big problem, but I'm at least much higher leveled. I'm not here during my Kaywid ventures, because after all that we get the Great Jar's Arsenal, which will increase our equip load by 19%, almost at 15. So with this we really won't be that over encumbered unless I'm just putting everything on my back. There was also another Deathrite bird I was facing up in the mountaintops, and it was troublesome because I really didn't have a build with holy damage on it. And because I was already here, I wanted to give a shot to Elden Stars, and it's so incredibly weak. If this thing had to pay child support, it'd be like $50 a month. Look at the other classmate Wrath of Gold and take his notes. Got another Tibia Mariner here to kill for some Death Root, and my chat was absolutely astonished, baffled by how I couldn't find it. They were so mean. And with that, we get Garak's Beast Claw. And it's pretty much like the previous one, but when you land it on the floor, you hit everywhere around you. But it still has the issue where it can only hit a target once, even if multiple claws go through them. So it's literally only better in dealing with area, not really damage. After that, sitting next to Rykard's body, we have to kill this woman who's caressing it, and the Crucible Knight comes out because I guess he's not chill with that. Oh, he's got the Ordo. Oh, he means business. I just love how much I just tank everything with this sword. But after that, with him dying, we get aspects of the Crucible Breath. Now with this, you will continuously spew fire out from your throat, and I believe there is a cutoff period where you can't hold it indefinitely, and while using it you do have to move forward while it's in effect. You can't just stand somewhere. But it's another incantation which can also be boosted by the armor, and we have an aspects of the Crucible incantation that isn't just physical. Really adds some extra variety while we're wearing this armor and bringing tails along with the horns incantation. But it does eat away your FP while you're going through it. And on a side note, I haven't tested this, but they're saying the Roar Medallion should also increase this incantation's damage. Oh, he's finding out the gold mask is a sham.
I've been gripped by a terrifying thought. The rhythms and calculus of the Master's finger betray a suspicion of the holism of the Golden Order, a conceit, I am afraid, that cannot be overlooked. Oh, but how could this be? I dread to even entertain the possibility, but somehow I cannot cast aside my doubts about the Master. Tell me, have I simply lost my head? Only, if the Master were true to the Golden Order, why would he think to breach this forbidden mount of fire? Oh, Master, put my mind at ease. Dispel these fearsome thoughts. I want to place my trust in you, to be your scribe.
Even when timing it a little incorrectly and getting knocked out of it during this incantation, Breath still does a good amount of damage. It's mostly just about positioning yourself and making sure you have a really good window to actually get the full effect out of it. Since when can y'all just do this?
There's two of them!
It literally didn't even matter, they share the same health pool. I thought that was a little dumb. Even without the Ash of War, the stagger potential on this Godslayer's Greatsword is... oh my god. This fortress just had a lot of enemies throwing projectiles down at you. Oh look, an NFT. I also once seen this YouTube short stating how this is one of the hardest enemies in the entire game, and he already knew of my presence before I got to him. And on his first combo, just it didn't end and I almost died to it. I feel like I was so lucky to get this on the first attempt. At the top is Commander Niall. All of these nuts in your mouth. Took out the rookies with the Flame of Frenzy. This leg was so much of a problem for me. Like, I didn't want to sniff this one. You could have told me that was poison damage because that foot was stank. Also, this one giant attack he does will lead him incredibly wide open. I should have taken more advantage out of it. But with the Godslayer sword, it wasn't that bad. We took him out in about 2 attempts, I believe. And up top, we get another Haligtree medallion. I don't know how your lives are. I just hope you're in a position where you can love your sibling.
You promise me, dear sister, you're finally here. No time to waste. Let's see the stars.
Down here is the Primal Glintstone Blade, which is a talisman. It'll decrease the FP for spells and incantations, but also decrease your HP, and I think it's a little too much HP for me to justify using this thing. I can't even see you. Where is this boss? The dude trying to run the ones with me, I did so much damage with just, look at this, 2 charged Flame of Frenzies, and even staggering them, oh my god, and just a third one. Just get a third one in there. And I'm doing a 4th, I just melted. everything. I'm lava. Ow, ow. First Church America, we get another bell bearing. And up top, we go and fight Vike, who just constantly gets staggered due to the breath attack. And I was really feeling myself against him, until I saw how much HP was just ridden from this world after that attack. But it's difficult for NPCs to avoid the Flame of Frenzy, and after killing them, we get Vike's Dragon Bolt. It's pretty much the same amount as Electrify Armament, but it has two added effects of increasing your maximum equip load and decreasing your lightning negation. Not only that, it costs more than Electrify Armament as well. Unless you plan on having a build revolved around that increased equip load you get from this, it's really just a more expensive version of Electrify Armament. One that also even has a downside, and it counts as both a weapon buff and a body buff. Just slap on Electrify Armament and bring some other incantation to take up that body buff. Again, this thing looks cool, but it's not much better besides that. And I wanted to try a bit of a regen build since the Butchering Knife gives you 1% HP with every hit. The tree looks so gorgeous at night. I thought this message was telling me that there was an invisible floor or something here.
I don't agree.
No, the invisibility actually refers to this bridge over here. How was I supposed to know this? And I really just shimmied my way up because I didn't know where it was really angling itself. And here we go, with the Butchering Knife, it deals a good amount of regen per hit. And since it's percentage based, it's always good no matter what, especially if I have higher HP. This one didn't hold a memory slot because I forgot the last one was down in Liurnia. Even not for direct damage, this lightning spear is really good for crowd control. Okay, you gotta be like this dude. At this point, I was the lowest in my life I've ever been, and after falling, he decided he'd fall with me. And I only noticed after I got his item. That's a real one right there. He didn't even know my name or anything. And after that, in this chest, we get the Giant's Prayer Book. And out of it, we get Giant Flames Take Thee and Flame Fall Upon Them. Giant's Flame is literally just a huge fireball you lob at the enemy, dealing a huge amount of damage and with a huge explosion at the end. It's not entirely unique in that sense, but it hits the right part of my brain when I use it. Flame Fall Upon Thee is more of like a shotgun version. It throws out a couple of fireballs, but from what I read, it says it can only hit with 3 at a time maximum on a target. So while you can use it on a big enemy, it's probably more useful again for crowd control and hitting multiple targets in a wide area. And for a perfect addition to go along with these incantations, we keep on going up and visit the hero's grave. Before anything else, we do get Flame Protect Me. This is like a better version of the fortification spells that give you 35% damage reduction. Flame Protect Me gives you 60% damage reduction to fire. And there's 3 more of these that do the same thing for Holy, Lightning, and Magic. So we'll also be getting those, but they heavily reduce elemental damage. Don't pass up on the defense these ones give you. God, I will always hate y'all and you just step on me. The Watchdog was harder than the boss of this area. He was just, ugh. There's this one area where you can drop down from a bridge and you don't have to fight this enemy. I just wanted to show him I'm not afraid. But you can go down and just collect the Giant Seal, which will increase the damage of Giant Flame incantations. And I was so hoping that this would work on Catch Flame, but that doesn't classify as one. So not everything that does fire damage counts as a Giant's Flame spell. But I don't even care. The Giant Flame incantations are just powerhouses incarnate. So increasing any of them is going to be so worth this seal. And it's time to fight the Mountaintop Giant, and for clips, I wanted to invite Alexander so I could make this seem so much cooler. Since the Giants, well, big, I decided to bring in Pest Thread so I can hit him multiple times with it. I swear, we were hitting him dozens. And on my first attempt, we got him to phase 2 easily. Bro, he was so mad that I got him to phase 2. Like, it was just a prank. I would kill for this to happen in the real world and for me to actually feel like the main character for once. I sniffed his ass and didn't take any damage with that one. Not only that, but he must have had extra for lunch because I just put a couple pest threads right up them bums. But this fight, I got it down in one attempt. Thank you, pest threads. I will say we did have Alexander there with us, but I was expecting this to take us multiple tries, but when I saw that we were about to do it, I was like, you know what, I might as well. So yeah, I did have a summon. He's right there. Oh my god, he's gone. But still, I thought I should have died much earlier. I don't even have any good armor. I have some incredibly light armor. And from the Fire Giant Remembrance, we get Burn O Flame. This is like Firestorm from the other Dark Souls games. And I've never tried those incantations or miracles or spells or pyromancies or whatever, but all I know is when I tried it in this game, it was hitting. Multiple pillars of flame will arise from the ground. It does a lot of damage. It's good with crowd control if everyone's around you. And if it's one singular giant enemy, you can hit them with multiple pillars. And charging it up using the Godfrey's icon, God, this is possibly one of the funnest incantations in the game, personally. And with smaller enemies hit by the pillars, they'll also just be launched into the air. But before we move on, I decided to use the medallions so we can go to the concentrated snowfield. The Beast Eye quivers, which means there's another death root here, and this isn't the best target, but Burn O Flame tears through them and staggers them. At this point, I tried using more light armor instead, which wasn't that good, considering I had to be up close to my enemies for these incantations. And there are these hidden walkways. Again, I don't understand how people even find these things naturally. And it's good to look down on enemies and hit them with the scatter shot. I guess I felt bad for this dude because I just healed right in front of him. You can have somebody. There's a mimic down here, but since they are my stature, they also get thrown up into the air by Burn O Flame.
Help me.
So I pretty much just bullied them with it, and at the end, just to keep my distance away from my own incantations, just hit them with the Blade of Death. This was so stylish. But in here we get another Death Root and another Spell Drake Talisman. In the snowfield, I just blitzed to pass. I didn't want to deal with anything I couldn't see. Oh, and we make it to this town. Once in the Everjail, we have to light 4 flames, while there are Black Knife Assassins who are just invisible unless you have a certain torch equipped, and archers that just really love how much damage they do. Like right here, I didn't know where it was coming from. Thankfully, I didn't immediately die, but I can't survive 2. Thankfully, the first one is on the ground level. To get to another one, we do have to go up here and light this one, but there's another one farther along that we have to make our way through the rooftops for. This one archer's timing was incredibly annoying, but I had a reliable strategy of dodging with the Blade of Death and knocking them backwards, giving me the opportunity to hit them with some giant flame take these. And eventually I just started feeling myself with free aiming these. Like, I don't know, maybe I could have done basketball. Get another flame lit, and thankfully I can take this person out with some honed bolts. The final light really wasn't that difficult, and we can get to the teleporter that transports us to the Halleck tree. I'm not going to progress that much forward, so I do keep on going until I get the first grace so we can head on back to the snowfield, because there are ruins down here that grant us the incantation Unendurable Frenzy. It's like if you could continue the Flame of Frenzy as long as you had the FP and stamina for it. It's not bad. I would say it's strong. I just preferred everything else I was using up until this point. Not to mention as well, there's also the madness part where you're gonna also inflict a good amount of madness on yourself. To a cave next door where we got the incantations, there's a bunch of high leveled smithing stones. And also the end goals, like the ancient dragon smithing stone, that's the final one we need to fully upgrade a weapon. And the boss here, oh my, bro, how many repeats? I actually had much more difficulty with this one as opposed to the first time I fought them.
Just give me a chance. Just give me a chance.
And I was really trying to keep my distance because when they went with the tail attack, it just wiped out, what is that, like 85% of my HP? So yeah, I stood by with my distance and just whittled them down. There's also another high leveled magma worm here who has a ton of HP. So yes, I did have to bust out the multi-hit attacks, but even then with certain swipes he does more than half. And some attacks just outright kill me, even though I'm wearing some pretty decent damage reduction armor. Because of his HP, first hit him off with a Blade of Death to get rid of 10%, and then leave the rest to Pest Threads or Frozen Lightning Spears. To the side, there's a cave that demands a stone word key with a boss, another misbegotten. But after killing them, we get the Golden Order Greatsword, which is a greatsword that scales mostly off of faith. Again, I'll say this, it's mostly a shame because in the late game, a lot of bosses just have high holy negation, so it looks cool. I think the holy damage is cool, and I also think the Ash of War is pretty cool, but this is just not its place to really shine right now after we've done everything. Again, I know I feel like I'm saying no or just not using a bunch of the later game options, it's just they're not as viable as some of the earlier stuff I've used or picked up. What I do use is the Urge Steel Dagger because it has innate faith scaling, but it doesn't have an element attached to it. So I put fire so it gets even better faith scaling, and we can use Flaming Strike on this thing. And then at the Bestial Sanctum, we give Garak the last death root.
It is all consumed. Still, I am not sated. Not nearly sated. America! Is this what it is to sin? Will things never be the same again? Tarnished, my thanks for thy long labor, but I have done all I can in this land. Henceforth, mine appetite shall be my sole companion. Farewell.
And for our troubles, he gives us an ancient dragon smithing stone. But after all of that, I return to the Haligtree so we can fight Loretta. She's back to using her magic, keeping me at a distance, but also she's so incredibly fast I can't get some of the charged incantations out. That I started using uncharged attacks, and I definitely could have gotten it, I just failed on that dodge attempt. Also, these Crystallians really hit me hard and I didn't remember, so I just fell down here. I lost about 120,000 runes, so I was pissed. I was hoping to stun her with the Stone of Garak, but it never happened. I don't think I ever staggered her, which is fine. We do end up killing her right here though. But after dealing with her, we make it to the brace of the Haligtree. This dude's like a bed that you flip on over to uncover all the secrets. Oh, hi, Millicent.
Again we meet. I can only surmise our purposes are aligned. In which case, allow me to explain myself. I am of Melania's blood. but in what capacity I know not. I could be sister, daughter, or an offshoot. Whatever the case though, I am certain of a kinship between us.
This dagger is underleveled, but with the swipe from Flaming Strike getting us extra fire damage on it, it's tearing through them. I also get the triple rings of light, and I can't use them! And to show an example of a big enemy against Burno Flame. After its performance, I decided to level up the dagger even more. There's this area where you slow down trotting through Scarlet Rot, and I was very skeptical. There's a little area you can branch off, get it, and fight one of these ulcerated tree spirits. This dude was stuck here for a minute, so I just took times taking pot shots at it until I realized, wait a minute, I'm supposed to kill you. And after that, we could be summoned by Millicent to help her take on 3 people, so it's a 3v2. And I swear I really wanted to Burno Flame all 3 of them, but I was getting so destroyed. But getting it off on all of them was so satisfying. Fly, my birds! But I ruined it. I got so greedy on that attempt. I really wanted this kill and just, oh god, it's disgusting. On the last attempt, Millicent actually killed him with the waterfowl dance. I didn't do a damn thing. But she took the needle out of herself and she's about to die.
Oh. Hello. Thank you for lending your hand. Without your help, I could not have defeated that quartet. I feel as if I've been in your debt from beginning to end. Thank you. With your help, I was able to live as my own person, if only in passing. But this is where things end. I paused to even tell you, but I took out the needle myself. Tell whoever put you up to this that if I am to flower into something other than myself, I would rather rot into nothingness as I am. Please, let me pass alone. The scarlet rot writhes now, worse than ever. Soon, I won't be more than a mound of flesh, curse-laden. Untouchable. I wouldn't want such a thing to bring you harm.
And after coming back, we get the unalloyed gold needle and go back to Gallery to give them the bad news.
Oh. Millicent, my daughter, why would you take out the needle? You were so close, so very close to becoming the fairest of all flowers. Would you disown us too, as your mother did? We children of the Scarlet Rot. Millicent, Malenia, do you detest us so utterly?
I keep on going forward and also find this Erdtree avatar who I just played peekaboo with. I wasn't going down there to fight you, dude. And we use a rune arc every time we go to fight Malenia, so I can actually wield the God Slayer's greatsword. And it's time.
I dreamt for so long. My flesh was dull gold, and my blood rotted. Corpse after corpse left in my wake. 'As I awaited, his return. Heed my words. I am Melania, Blade of Mikola. And I have never known defeat.
I went in with the idea of using Flame of the Fell God, but when she's doing an animation, she won't be knocked down. Also, instantly got sliced away from the first waterfowl dance. But here is an example. When she's just walking up to it and she gets hit, she gets knocked down, which I take the opportunity to use Burn of Flame and knock her down again. And I'm lucky on certain times I can just tank a good chunk of waterfowl. But after a bunch of times using Burn of Flame while she's on the ground, we finish her off with a Frenzied Burst. Now it's the real challenge.
The scarlet bloom flowers once more. You will witness true horror. Now, rot.
Bro, this is the equivalent of coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb. And the good thing, as you see here, is when you use Burn of Flame, your character is actually way closer to the ground, allowing them to even avoid certain attacks.
We've...
And I just kept on spamming it. Usually she could get out of it by the third time I was using Burn of Flame. And I died again to the second phase attack, but I remember watching something saying as long as you're not locked on, it's easier for her to miss. And even in this phase, she's not invulnerable to getting flipped like a pancake, but she follows you much more aggressively, making it more difficult for me to even start up an incantation.
Did you drink my Mountain Dew? Let me smell your breath. Let me smell your breath!
Honestly, this second attack where she thrusts right at me got me a lot of times. It was just difficult for me to remember, alright, she's doing something else. Again, it felt so smooth as if she already ended that I forgot she had another attack ready though. And I swear I saw the problem with Waterfowl is that on one of the attacks, even if I dodge into her, once she gets behind me and I'm locked on, I actually dodge right into her. So for the last chunk of Waterfowl Dance, you don't want to be locked on. Whenever she did this plant-like attack, it gave us a good opportunity to just lob some extra black flames at her since she's stationary. And when I didn't have distance to run away, these projections were crazy. I saved my physic for phase 2 of the fight and realized that Horns will also flip her up into the air as long as she's not doing some sort of attack. So I can charge it up and then freely get in there. And this will be my last, minute of fighting Melania. Melania took me about 13 attempts, and every time I fought her again, I used another Great Rune. It might have not been every time, but I'm pretty sure I used a bunch of Great Runes before getting into the fight again. So yeah, she's definitely one of the more difficult bosses throughout the game, especially phase 2. I don't know how I'm ever going to do a close combat encounter, but a lot of times it's much easier to dodge her attacks, especially waterfowl, if you just don't lock on to her. Again, for some reason it just makes it much more difficult. But after all that, we used the needle to get Miquella's needle out of it and a somber ancient dragon smithing stone. I don't know how to pronounce it, but using her remembrance we can get Scarlet Aeonia. It's pretty much that attack from phase 2 where she becomes a plant after landing down on someone and creates a Scarlet Rot AoE. It does a good amount of damage and it leads to Scarlet Rot, but honestly, not only is it a slow wind up, but also you're locked into the animation even after landing on the ground. For like a good 3, 4, even 5 seconds, you're just forced to sit there and let things happen to you. And not only does it cost a lot of FP, but it takes 3 memory slots, so it's also expensive to use and expensive to own. It's like the actual economy. I think on certain enemies that are susceptible to the rot, it's not bad, but it's also not really that good. Also, I started speaking to Gideon about our dubs, and he gets us the Lord's Divine Fortification, pretty much the 60% damage reduction for Holy. He also gives us pretty much a prized Law of Causality. But one of my favorite body buffs, Black Flame Protection. This buff will decrease physical damage by 35%, but it also has the negative of reducing all healing by 20. Physical damage is usually on everything, so you can get Black Flame Protection value out of most encounters. And I do think the reduction in healing is significant enough, and I might be wrong, but I don't think the healing negation affects regen, so I can still get the full value of a healing incantation while using this in battle. But we head back up to the mountaintops so we could be ready to, instead of throwing Melina in there, throw ourselves into the whole fire. But once we're up, we're finally in Ferrum Azula. And again, just to showcase it, it is strong. And it does do the Scarlet Rot, but I'm just so vulnerable right after. And we also have a really good dagger that scales off of faith for some extra critical damage. I went back in Leyendale to get this other incantation, Barrier of Gold, which is just again the 60% damage negation but for magic. I dodged like all the actual fire. What did I get hit by? The air? This dude just needed those big black flame balls. And peep the health bar and see how much damage I'm really taking with black flame protection. It's not that much. And in here, in a library, we get the Ancient Dragon Prayer Book. Oh, you heard I like to put the white stuff on you, huh? Goon on him! Goon on him! Put him in the jar! But from the prayer book, we get Ancient Dragon's Lightning Spear and Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. Lightning Spear is similar to Fortisax's version, but instead of 2, you just throw 1 Lightning Spear down. It works in the exact same way, but it's much faster because it is just 1, but I'm pretty sure Fortisax's will do more damage. From what I'm reading, Ancient Dragon's Lightning Spear is much more efficient with FP use. So Fortisax's version is more of if you want incredible damage right now. And second, we have Ancient Dragon's Lightning Strike. You've seen this. It goes to the center of where you cast it and then creates more thunderbolts going outwards. And enemies can get hit by every single extra bolt if they're big enough, which is why this thing is so good. This incantation has the potential to just one-shot bosses outright. So this thing with the Lightning Scorpion charm and the Gravelstone and just anything else is just gonna delete bosses. And we go back to the Hallowed Tree so we can also get the Dragon Crest Great Shield. This talisman will increase your physical defense by 20%. In some cases I will also bring Black Flame protection, so I get like 55% decrease to physical damage reduction along with any armor I also have. And this is honestly like a staple whenever I'm playing this game now. I also went to 1v1 Gallery. He was a tough geezer, but he drops the Phlox Canvas Talisman, which will increase incantations by 8%. Some incantations don't get boosted by a seal, like Pest Threads, so this is one of the only ways we can actually add damage to it. And it's not bad, you know, just 8% to everything? That's so good. I forgot to record the initial fight with the Apostles, but I do have some of it from the stream. I tried Giant's Flame, but I really wasn't down with the trading, so eventually I just went to Garrock for being much faster and much more flexible. You went over it. Once one of them was down, I hit the other with a sleep pot since these dudes are very susceptible to sleep. And then just hit them with the Burno Flame. And it really wasn't that difficult, especially after getting one out the way and using sleep pots. We beat this boss in 1 attempt. And not only that, we get the last smithing stone bell bearing we need to actually level our weapons up with the smithing stones all the way up to, I believe, 24, or if this one it was to 9. But it's so late in the game to just start experimenting with a bunch of other stuff. I wish they added it a little earlier. There's another area that we can explore, and these undead enemies were such a problem for me. They did a lot of damage. We get a scarab for the golden lightning fortification. Bro, come on, I was just fighting you. Oh, just 1 incantation and that's it, huh? Now you go. Oh, my boy Alexander.
Ah, I see you finally made it here yourself. The city hanging in the air is slowly crumbling. What an incredible place we find ourselves. But that aside, you're certainly a force to be reckoned with, eh? I doubt there's a single soul who could have handled that giant other than you. It was practically a god. Of course, I count myself, the great Alexander, among many. Which means I've but one thing to ask of you. Would you kindly undertake my ordeal? Come and tell me when you're ready. I've been longing to fight a warrior as accomplished as you. You are ready then, I take it? Then let us begin.
I am the great Jar Warrior, Iron Fist Alexander. Lend me strength, O warriors. Let us become one champion together.
He was putting up a pretty good fight, only being able to occasionally stagger that man only because of Flame Strike, and it has a ton of poise. But I always loved seeing all of his moves to see what this great Jar Warrior would employ on the battlefield.
me. Blade, let it rip!
But with a couple of stones to this jar, he eventually falls. And I angled myself so I can give the light shining on him like he deserves.
My thanks. I knew you were the stuff of champions. It was a marvelous battle. I implore you, take what I bequeath from inside me. All vessels are destined to one day break. But the great Alexander lived as a warrior to his last.
I definitely felt a little emotional with his end, and I can only hope that he had died with some form of peace. But he does drop the Shard of Alexander, which will increase the damage of your Ashes of War. So I love using the Godslayer's Greatsword and the Ordovis Vortex Ash of War. This is really going to boost their damage. Also, it's unnecessary now, but we get the Dragon Shield Talisman +2. Also, I was told I could get this Earthsteel Dagger from Keith. I wish I got it earlier, but we infuse it with Sacred and give it Sacred Blade. I've never tried it in this game, but I will be dual wielding both of these daggers. And I see I can get the extra Holy and Flame damage on both of my daggers at the same time. Oh, these birds are just so disgusting to get through. I'm not gonna lie, it was fun and funny to see me just rapidly hit them with the blades. And with these birds, I swear it was easiest to hit them with Stone of Garak, which, to be fair, flying's weak to rock types, you know? I also get the Drake Knight armor. I think I just look goofy in it. Dude, I'm becoming an absolute pro at free aiming these spells. In the next area, there's a lot of water and the enemy's using lightning. I get a taste of my own medicine when I use it on other people. And we also get the last Somber Miner's Bell Bearing. We get invaded by one of the dudes in the Volcano Manor, Bernal, and daggers was not the way to go. He just kept on eating through my attacks. I was never in this thing's effect, so I'm lucky to have never been hit by it, but Burno Flame was literally the G for this fight. And he was guarding a chest that holds the Old Lord's Talisman. This thing will extend the duration of spells and incantations by 30%. So if something has a timer, it usually gets increased by this. Flame Grant Me Strength will get the 30% increase. The regen buffs will also get a 30% increase, but in some of the Dark Souls games, if you extended regen spells, they still would heal you the same amount they normally would, it would just be slower. Thankfully, it doesn't work like that. If you have this talisman and put a regen spell, you'll just get more healing out of it because it goes for longer. And will also work on weapon buffs. So you can use this to extend any armament spell. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I'm sure you can also take the talisman off after using it and you'll still have the 30% increase and just put something else on. So honestly, I've just been waiting for this talisman for a really long time. But before we go after Malekith, because I'm pretty scared, I decided to go after Placidus Axe. Don't show your fear, alright? Walk up there with confidence. So since he's a big target, I think I did apply the Lightning Scorpion charm and charged up Ancient Dragon Strike. And I don't get to see the damage because I had my HUD off trying to get, again, good clips. I feel very offended. He could have just said that I was annoying him. Hey, you think he's up there? Oh my god, yeah! With him disappearing more often, I'm a little hesitant to do some incantations just in case I'm about to waste them as he's disappearing. I can't even say anything. This dude has aura. Like, see, right here, I just waste FP, don't do damage, and then take damage in return. But we'll never see how much damage this thing does, because after one more Dragon Strike, he's dead. I didn't think it would be this quick to kill him. I wasn't familiar with Ancient Dragon Strike's damage. So yeah, we one-attempted Placidusax. I actually wish I got to see the health bar. Just to show where we are at, my faith is at 66 right now. And we use Miquella's Needle here to remove the effect of the triple-fingered Frenzied Flame, because without it, I would be forced to do the Frenzy ending. And with this, we get a new Dragon Communion incantation, Placidusax's Ruin. Now, this one's a little weird, because when you use it, you do an initial burst of damage, which is considered lightning damage, and then you shoot a beam right after that, which does fire damage. It takes a lot of FP and takes 3 memory slots. I was mostly put off by it by its multiple damage types, and I'm sorry that I keep on doing this. I'll use this more in the DLC video, I swear. Maybe I shouldn't swear, maybe I won't. I should stick to some promise though. I don't even know what to say it really does. I don't know if it's crowd control or just hits really heavy. And we go into the arena ready to fight Malekith, probably feeling very betrayed after we got him all that death root.
Tarnished. Why wouldst thou? Why? 'Tis no matter. I hear my cry. The distant death shall not be stolen again.
And he's incredibly quick, and some attacks that I feel like I do have a safe spot, nuh-uh. Before I continued any further, I decided to take on Blythe, since he's in front of Ronnie's tower. I don't truly understand what's going on with my boy, but we do have to put him out of his suffering. And then we inform E.G. about the news of his friend.
Unthinkable. How could Blythe? How did he break free from his cell? No. More importantly, Blythe became a curse that plagued Lady Rani. Yet even in madness, gave himself to her. I've made a grave misjudgment. And I thought myself a capable war counselor. I'll catch up with you soon enough, Blythe. When I do, I only hope you'll accept my apology.
And I always thought E.G. did this to himself whenever I've seen clips of this, but what I'm told is that other people came in and gave him the Black Flame or killed him. We're back to the Malekith fight. Honestly, a lot of it just looked like this. I was very determined on using the Godslayer's Greatsword, but it is very slow for this fight. I just have to be patient, and there are some attacks I think I can dodge as long as I'm close to him, but we do eventually get him to phase 2. Oh god, phase 2.
Become my blade once more.
So again, once we got to phase 2, I wanted to actually get some cool footage right here. I guess I got some cool footage of me like dying or something. And I tried parrying here again. I swear I would have gotten it if he reached me, but I would have died to the flame effect anyway. He's more medium sized, but I still think Pest Threads is not a bad option for this fight. And I finally got the parry off of that one attack. That's the only attack you could parry with that item, Blasphemous Claw, and I wasted it just to hit him with one black flame. Like, am I serious? Also, I get super nervous with this follow-up attack, even though I know I should run into it. To reduce the damage, I brought Lord's Divine Fortification, but he attacked so quick I didn't have a chance to get it off immediately. So create some distance, make sure he's walking, and you're going to take much less damage from his other attacks. And right now, I'll just leave you with the last minute from this fight as well.
Restored.
The rune of death is unbound. And the lands between are shrouded by death's dark fate. But the flames will also burn the impenetrable thorns. Farewell it is then. You'll be Elden Lord yet.
After all that, it took us 11 attempts to take out Malekith and finally burn the Erd Tree down. Literally only have a few bosses left. I go ahead and duplicate Malekith's Remembrance, and with it I buy both Malekith's Black Blade and the Black Blade Incantation. Black Blade can hit any target in front of you and also releases a projectile that gives them destined to death. It's like we had the dagger earlier, which will take away 10% of the target's max HP, so it can hit twice, and it's not even worth that much FP. It is 2 memory slots though, and it deals holy damage, but I'm telling you, this thing is worth. So the greatsword that Malekith used, and it also has the Ash of War Destined Death, which is like the same thing when he plunged his sword into the ground with a lot of swipes going around. It also applies Destined Death and can stack to get rid of 20% of the target's max HP. The round table hole is now starting to crumble, and even Hugh is forgetting us.
Who are you? Oh. I must be a blacksmith. Now, let's get smithing.
Back in Landale, there's an area covered by sand and roaming with ulcerated tree spirits, but I somehow managed to just sneak behind them, like every single one of them, and get the Erdtree's favor +2. I eventually find my prophet buddy, Corn.
Oh, it's you. I finally come to understand. The Master was nothing more than a madman, enchanted by a vain and ruinous delusion. He rejected the perfection of the Golden Order, seeking to supplant our glorious faith with his own. Could there be a more pitiable comedy? Look at it. The culmination of perfection, burning before our very eyes.
And I think the gold mask dude died before giving us the mending rune of perfect order, and after we reload the area, just take those clothing off of him. I'm looking better in those. Oh, it's time for the Gideon fight. I don't even have to narrate this.
I knew you'd come to stand before the Elden Ring. To become Elden Lord. What a sad state of affairs. I commend your spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. I know Queen Marika has high hopes for us, that we continue to struggle. Unto eternity. In my bones, a tarnished cannot become a lord. Not even you. A man cannot kill a god.
On the first attempt. I did this a little later, but I decided to put it earlier in the video, but we head to Jarburg and talk to the little homie here.
Hello, cuz. What are you doing here? I didn't think anyone knew about this place. Except us Jars. Ah. Are you going to be the new potentate? Gosh. Truly. That's wonderful news. It's not easy being potentate, though. I know. Show me your hands. It's just a little test, cuz. To see if you've got the right stuff. Your skin isn't so smooth, is it? You need slick, slidey hands to be potentate, you know? I'm sorry, cuz. But I don't think you've got what it takes. What a shame. Ah, hello again. Say, cuz, have you met Uncle Alexander? He used to live here with us, but then he left to be a champion. I asked to go with him, but he said, the path of champions must be trod alone. So heroic, right? I miss him, though. If you see him, you should ask him to teach you how to fight, cuz. He's big and tough and strong. Uncle Alexander said he won't be back again.
My home is of the past, and the past, as they say, is a different country.
I suppose that's part of being a warrior, isn't it? So, please don't tell anyone, cuz. But I'm actually a warrior jar as well. One day, I'll be just like Uncle Alexander. Then I'll have to leave the village to become a champion. Ah, hello again. Do you know what a poacher is, cuz? They hunt us, smash us, and then take us away. This village is kept secret, so I think we're safe here. But you should be careful if you ever meet one of them, cuz I hope Uncle Alexander beats them all up first.
And I see Diallos return to his roots a bit by helping someone else.
Oh, my friend, it's been far too long. I have to say you caught me at a rather low point. But as you see, I've put all that behind me. Left the Volcano Manor, forging my own path now, making my own choices. Even a fool like me can look after some simple jars. Do you pity me? Well, don't. I feel like for the first time in my life, I'm on the straight and narrow.
And unfortunately, poachers come in and attack the town. But luckily this little dude's fine.
Oh, cuz, I'm glad you came. But we're fine now. Diallos fought the poacher, though quite a lot of us got broken. I won't cry though. I'm a warrior jar. A warrior. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood. That's the kind of warrior I want to be one day, cuz. Even if I'm scared, I'll still fight to protect everyone.
You. Are the jars? Are they alright? Did I defend them? Then all is well. This fool proved his worth in the end.
And after this, Bairn makes up his own mind on what he wants his adventure to be.
Thanks for coming back, cuz. I've been thinking. It's time for me to set out on a journey. As a warrior jar. Upon the path of champions. Wow. Cuz, are these insights from Uncle Alexander? Thank you, cuz I'm a warrior jar, so I need to be strong. I can really have them, right? I understand. I'll get strong. Strong enough. I deserve to have Uncle's insights. I don't think I'll see you again. When I set out, warriors are supposed to work alone. Goodbye, cuz. And thanks for everything. I'll never forget you, cuz.
All that done and out of the way, I apply Black Flame Protection because I know the next boss is going to do a lot of physical damage. It's time for Godfrey.
It's been a long while, Morgoth. Long and hard didst thou fight, tarnished warrior, spurned by the grace of gold. Be assured, the Elden Ring resteth close at hand. Alas, I am returned. To be granted audience once more.
Upon my name as Godfrey, the first Elden Lord.
Oh my god, Black Flame looks so baller, especially in the Malekith armor. And it seems like he's immune to Destined Death, so I can't just easily get rid of 10% of his HP right off the bat. His stomping is usually what roll catches me, and honestly I was so intent on fighting him with the armor and Malekith's sword. But honestly, he was just so quick for me. Not to really dodge, but just to try and get attacks in. And not only that, this Ash of War, since it doesn't do the Destined Death effect, it's a little bad. But by getting good, we get him down to phase 2.
That will be all. Thou didst me good service, Siraj. I've given thee courtesy enough. Now I fight as Horalu. Warrior!
I just creamed my pants. But this dude's even faster now, so I feel even more underpowered. I do find out if you're in like the getting up animation, he can't technically grab you. And this attack where he does a huge wind up is just perfect to get hits in. I should have got another one there, but I can just jump hit and dodge the other ones. I didn't really realize he was winding up for a huge attack, so I just didn't run away. And I was bricks when he tried grabbing me twice, like god damn it. I got him down so close using this setup, but I eventually thought, you know what, I might have to just reconsider how I approach this fight. So he takes off most of his clothes when he goes to phase 2. So you know what, I'll partake.
Cabron, I need to see you a boss.
Okay, maybe that was a bad move. Maybe he really wants to grab my nuts. But my plan was to put Blood Flame on this weapon because when you try to two-hand it, you really just dual wield it. And Blood Flame is put on both weapons. So I get double the effect and I have Bloodhound Step to avoid the attacks that are giving me trouble and keep my momentum up. And it really worked. Damn it. Nah, but for real, it allowed me to continuously attack him and keep that bleed going up and occasionally actually proc bleed. But to see how good it was, I'll let you see the last minute of the fight.
Tarnished. Thy strength
befits same crown.
And it took a while. It took us 11 attempts to take this dude down. But now there's only one thing left to stop us. And time for the final boss, Radagon. And yes, I probably left behind some bosses before, but I'm not counting that rune bear somewhere in Limgrave. I died a couple times just so I could get the perfect clip of me doing a Black Flame Tornado on him. Again, he mostly does holy damage, so I did holy damage negation, and for some reason I did an Erdtree heal at the beginning of the fight. Oh no. Oh, he's showing me how it's like to get pounded. My initial plan was actually not even really fighting him with a weapon and using Lightning Spear, but charging it up was actually way too slow. And if regular Lightning Spear is too slow, then Fortisax's Lightning Spear is like a goddamn turtle. And not even that, like his grand attacks aren't too bad. What really sucks is his teleport. Not that it only teleports him away from danger, but also does damage when he teleports back. So I got rid of Godfrey's icon and put the Lightning Scorpion Talisman, because the only thing fast enough for this dude was an uncharged Lightning Spear. And thankfully some of his attacks literally just are made for me to get some extra distance in. But the strategy worked with going faster, and we take down Radagon. One more phase to go. I'm gonna say this right now, I actually expected this to be much easier. This dude's like a skyscraper. I would have been dumb not to use Lightning Strike. Look at that damage. And even the arena here is covered in water, reducing his lightning damage negation. This just wrecks all of his HP. And when I need a safer option, I just go with Pest Threads again. Look at him, he's huge! I would not feel offended if a woman used pest threads on me, okay? It would mean that I'm huge somewhere. We did a couple of pest threads, and he does try to run away from the last few, so I guess he can save himself for another second. But he comes back around, and we just pest threads one more time, and we beat Elden Beast to his phase 2 transition in one attempt. Overall, the whole fight took 11 attempts. But there we go. We finished Elden Ring. There is no more left. We'll do the DLC, just not now, I promise. And in the end, I wanted to get myself a wifey, so I went with the Ronnie ending. After everything we went through, I deserve to have someone that says I love you, just please.
The battle is over, I see. I do solemnly swear to every living being and every living soul. Now cometh the age of the stars. 1,000-year voyage under the wisdom of the moon. Here beginneth the chill night that encompasses all, reaching the great beyond. Into fear, doubt, and loneliness, as the path stretcheth into darkness. Well then, shall we? My fair consort eternal.
So that's it. Thank you guys so much to anyone that makes it to the end and has watched the whole video. This took a lot of work. Ultimately, I'd say Faith lets you access a ton of elemental types. You can do physical, lightning, holy, and fire. The only thing that's more difficult is magic. But it was actually really strong, and some of the weapons were also good. Again, I loved Ordovis and the God Slayer's Greatsword. And they have a ton of seals to also help boost any of the other incantations. If you've never tried Faith, I'd say give it a go. It was amazingly fun. And I'd have to say some of my favorite ones were the Ancient Dragon Cult incantations. So yeah, that's it for the video. Again, thank you guys for watching and for all the support you guys been giving me over like the last half year. Again, I'm going to be streaming Elden Ring Night Rain. Also, I'm going to be playing with my boys, so if you want to catch us, go check it out. Again, I'm going to be live on Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 7. I do plan on doing the DLC after doing a couple of videos on Night Rain, and I want to add a lot more variety to it. Some of the stuff that I didn't use, I want to bring into that, as well as using anything new in the DLC as well. Again, just thank you, and whoever's behind that screen, I hope you're doing well. Sometimes it's really difficult to find that motivation to do things just for yourself. I've been in a rut for about a year, and only now have I really been starting to gain the momentum to climb out of it. You have to love yourself enough to say, you know what, today is the day that we're gonna get stuff done. And maybe it's just something small, and then maybe tomorrow is something else small, and then maybe it just gets a little bit bigger every time. And I don't know what your image is of yourself at the moment, but just know you are priceless. Don't ever let yourself become your worst enemy in the mirror. We all have to live this world and go through all the shit it gives us, but we don't have to do it alone. If your life is not on track and you're not happy with it, talk to someone, because then maybe you'll finally be able to put yourself on the right track. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate y'all. Again, if you ever just want to hang out, check me out when I stream. And I love every single one of y'all. Peace.